start the dominoes to fall, and more than likely Ja will be dealt. But according to reports, Minnesota, which was one of the teams mentioned, is now out of the Ja sweepstakes, according to reports. So Minnesota, check them off the list if those reports are true. And I don't know. We'll see what happens. I know Miami was originally a team that people talked about. I don't see that happening now. It's going to be very limited as far as teams that are interested in bringing him on. I know Phoenix was rumored for a bit, and that was shot down. The latest one, of course, has been New Orleans. Sacramento was one that was brought up and then shot down. We're running out of teams. I mean, you're not going to make a trade with the NBL in Australia for Ja Morant. So we'll see what happens if it does happen. But you have said, you've been pretty clear about your thoughts that it's not going to happen today. It's going to happen sometime later in the summer, right before maybe camp opens up.
Well, I just think once the new league year starts in July, like it's once teams figure out what they've gotten or didn't get in the draft, once they figure out what they did or didn't get in free agency, the start of free agency, that's when I think the trade is most likely to happen, when he becomes the next best option for some team out there because they missed out on some guys they want to. Now, Miami getting Giannis hurts. It would have been better had they not gotten him, and they had to go to their next whatever. But so that certainly hurts with Miami as an option. So yeah, they are running out of options, but I still believe there will be some team out there or teams that will say, you know what, he is the best, he is our best option at this point, and make that move.
The longer it goes, the more that some people are holding on to that hope that Ja Morant is still part of this team. Just go on social media and you'll read a lot of fans who are thinking that maybe perhaps he will not be dealt. But again, everything from what we're hearing is there will be a trade. It's just a matter of when. But again, the longer it lingers, the longer you wonder. But Giannis, that didn't linger once that report came out yesterday. He is traded, if you missed it late last night, to the Miami Heat. Now, driving in today, I was listening to the national show, and they were talking about Giannis having a little bit more say in this trade than you would think for a guy who was being dealt. I don't know if it influenced Milwaukee one way or another, but people were losing their collective minds over him not going to Boston. And I'm not talking about fans. I'm talking about media personnel around the country, national people, saying that he said all along that he wants to go where he can win another NBA title. And in Miami, we'll go over their roster in just a second. Sure, they should be vastly improved, but most people believe if that was true, he would be going to Boston and joining forces with Jason Tatum and some of the other Celtics. That did not happen. He is going to Miami. It is a bigger haul for the Milwaukee Bucks, led, of course, by now their new head coach, Taylor Jenkins, the former Grizzlies head coach. Giannis and Bobby Portis, not a little bad throw-in, go to Miami for the All-Star Tyler Hero, who returns to his native Milwaukee. That's where he's from. Kel'el Ware, Jaime Jaquez, Kasparis Yakashonis. How do you pronounce it?
Yakachonis.
Kasparis Yakachonis from Illinois. They get 3 first-round picks. They get a first-round pick swap. They get a second-round pick. All that going back to Milwaukee for Giannis and Bobby Portis. Now, on paper, the Heat, if they re-sign Norman Powell, would have a projected starting lineup. And again, just projected from what I'm reading today. Davion Mitchell, Norman Powell, Andrew Wiggins, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Bam Adebayo. And so the question is, how good is that in the East?
It's pretty good.
You can't score on those dudes.
Yeah.
That is like a defensive doomsday style.
It's it's a good roster. I wouldn't make them like they're the favorites in the East, but it's good. And if they stay healthy and everything else, that's a team that can compete in the upper half of the Eastern Conference.
All of a sudden, you look at the East, and obviously they produced the champions, the Knicks. We know the Celtics, if Tatum's healthy, they were good without Tatum this past season. With Brown, who's still there now, hopefully Jaylen Brown's okay. He made those comments.
Psychologically?
Yes. Yeah, because he's there unless there's some other trade coming that we don't know about. He's there, and he will be, as long as Jason Tatum's on that team, sort of the second fiddle. But Boston's going to be really good. Knicks, of course, the defending champions. Miami should be a very competitive team. Cleveland, will see what they do with their roster, but they're going to be good. Detroit is on the rise. We saw what they did last year. Philadelphia, if they can stay healthy, that's a big if. They have pieces. Tyrese Halliburton returns to Indiana. I don't know how strong they'll be now, but a couple years ago, we know how strong they were. And Atlanta is a team that's on the rise. There are some really competitive teams now in the East. A lot more teams that are capable of winning, whereas it used to be with the West, you had 8-9 teams that could win the West, and then in the East it was, you had like 2 or 3. Oklahoma City took over, and you thought they would run supreme for years, and all of a sudden now you get the Spurs dethroning them. Doesn't mean that Oklahoma City won't be back in that spot at the top next year, but other teams, of course, in the West are positioning themselves to make a run. Teams like Houston, who need to stay healthy, and they weren't healthy last year, which hurt them. And other teams that are young and are trying to put together competitive teams, even a Utah, which I don't think is a strong enough team to compete for the title, but a team I think that could be a little bit scary if they continue to add the pieces. But Miami, with Antetokounmpo, they're certainly excited. Boston, I'm sure, is a little bit disappointed. They get Giannis to go with Tatum, and they're the favorites. They're the favorites over the Knicks, in my opinion. But it doesn't happen. For Milwaukee, it's putting together assets, putting together pieces, young talent, see what they do in the draft. But they're going to be, I'm sure, a couple of years out before they're contending again, if they're contending at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's a rebuild. They need as many. As many people said, there's still a chance this deal could grow. I mean, there's a good chance that they flip Tyler Hero somewhere else. This is all about getting as many assets for your future as you can. As I talked about yesterday, I didn't understand the Boston deal for them. They end up going the Miami route, which to me makes a lot more sense. You are in a rebuild mode. It is time to get as many future assets as you could possibly get.
Well, like I said, and a lot of people on the national level agree, you're missing star power. If you trade Tyler Hero, he's not Jaylen Brown, but he's at least a big-time all-star. And that sells tickets. People go and watch teams that have stars, even if the team struggles a bit. I'm not saying they're selling out if they're not a good team, but star power is more important in the NBA than it is in any professional league. So we'll see if they try to flip a Hero. I've heard that maybe they'll look to trade Kel'el Ware. The Lakers being a suitor is what I heard too. So we'll see if Milwaukee does more stuff as far as flipping some of these guys. But the deal is done. Giannis headed to South Beach. The trade that happened earlier in the day, Minnesota trading Julius Randle and the 28th pick in the draft to the Brooklyn Nets in a 3-team deal. Nick Claxton will go from the Nets to the Bulls. The Timberwolves will get the number 33 pick. So they trade Randle. They trade the 28. They end up with the 33, but they shed salary.
Yeah, again, this is with the new setup of the cap and with the aprons and everything else. Talked about it numerous times. I mean, these teams are scared to death of the second apron. And there's a lot of teams that are just in salary cap hell. And you have to will make moves like this, where you will trade down in the draft just to get rid of a big salary. And that's the Timberwolves were in that position where there wasn't anything they could really do to add players with where they were unless they got rid of salary. And they choose Randle as the guy to get rid of. Obviously, you got Nas Reed there to kind of be right in that spot anyway. But it's if your team's like the Bulls and the Nets with a whole bunch of salary cap space, you can do these deals and take on salary and try and find ways to add players that way. You know, the Timberwolves wanted to sign Ayo Dosunmu. They couldn't do that really with their old position without going into that second apron. Now they're able to do that. So again, there's teams out there like that, Denver and Cleveland. These teams are in tough positions, man. When you're not good enough and you're in salary cap hell, it's really hard to do anything to improve your team. So you're just stuck of, okay, we either got to shed a big salary to give ourselves a chance to do something, or we're just running it back with what we got, which we know isn't good enough.
So 2 humongous trades, but tonight we expect more. Maybe not as big trades that we had yesterday, but there will be deals that will take place. There will be teams looking to move up. Some may be looking to move down. Remember, it's only the first round tonight, but they could certainly make moves that also affect the second round, which will take place tomorrow. Again, it will be at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. And yesterday, Cedric Coward, what was he on assignment? Cedric Coward was out there interviewing a bunch of the hopefuls. Did you see the videos?
Yeah, I saw some of them. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Talking to Boozer, talking to other players, asking these guys questions. Maybe that's his future career once he hangs up the shoes and ends his basketball career. Maybe he's going to get into broadcasting, but it was kind of cool to see Cedric Coward out there. Was it Cam Boozer's brother or was it his dad who said yesterday, quote, teams that do not draft Cam will regret it?
That was his dad.
That was his dad. So it was Carlos Boozer saying that. Obviously, the Grizzlies are in position, and unless the odds are bucked, they will have Cameron Boozer to select at number 3. Again, most people believe that number 1 will either be A.J. Debonsa or Darren Peterson, and then whoever is left there out of those 2 would be scooped up by Utah, and that would leave the Grizzlies with Cam Boozer at number 3. Do not expect any type of movement with the Grizzlies. They are in a great position at number 3. The fun, though, will begin for the Grizzlies with what they do with that 16th pick. Do they think it's deep enough where they can get their guy and they could stay at 16? Or do they look to move up? I don't see them moving down unless there was a player that they thought would be picked a couple of spots below them and they moved down a spot and picked up an asset. I mean, there's always wheelings and dealings going on, but I wouldn't trust that. That's a little scary proposition. If you've got a guy zeroed in on and you drop down a little bit, you end up not getting him, it backfires. And the Grizzlies and Zach Kleiman's track record has been to move up. So we'll see what happens as far as that's concerned. I think there's certainly intrigue at number 1. I don't think it's signed, sealed, delivered on who they'll pick. And I still don't think it's over that Utah, assuming Debonsa goes 1, doesn't take Carlos Boozer or Cam Boozer. I don't think it's over. Again, Carlos Boozer's with the Jazz. I don't think that'll make that big a difference because he's on the staff. But again, Cam Boozer, rated by a lot of these experts who break down this stuff, their number 1 player. So we'll see what happens as far as that's concerned. A little bit of intrigue there. And then Wilson more than likely goes 4 unless there's a big upset. And then we get into the fun with the guards. What happens with the guards? Where do they go? What order do they go? Does somebody trade up to grab one of those guards? Do the Grizzlies trade up to grab one of those guards? So I think there's going to be a lot of intrigue tonight with this draft.
Yeah, the draft starts at number 5, essentially. It's should be fun to see exactly what happens. And yes, what happens with the Grizzlies with the 16th pick and whether Zach Kleiman sticks to form and makes some sort of move to go try and get somebody or what they do there. Certainly will be fun to watch. And do they make any other, do they move anybody off the roster or anything like that if they do end up trying to make a move up or down or whatever? But yeah, this obviously a very deep draft. Now with some of these, the Bucks now having numbers 10 and number 13 in the draft. What do they do? Do they are they trying to maybe move up to get somebody they really covet, or would they maybe even there's talk that they may want more picks? So could they maybe move down with one of those? What do they do? So there's it's going to be always is an interesting now. The NBA draft always creates a lot of excitement, and this is the night of hope for all of these teams who spent the last half the season tanking. This is what you did that for. This is what all your fans have had to look forward to since basically December, is this night. Who do we end up? What were the tanking efforts? What did the tanking efforts result in? And tonight you get to find out exactly what the result of those tanking efforts was.
You said the right 4-letter word, hope. It's all about hope. I'm reading, kind of glancing over a story that a friend of the show, Adam Zagoria, has written, and he says it is going to be a bidding war for Jaylen Brown. He does not expect Jaylen Brown, after this is all said and done, all the smoke is cleared, to remain in Boston.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that think that, especially with the fact that it was very much reported that they were willing to trade him, that relationship maybe to a point of disrepair.
Yeah. I mean, that's a possibility. Now, we had those 2 bombshell trades, but right up there with those 2 trades, as far as huge news and certainly surprising news, was yesterday's news that Dusty May was taking the Dallas Mavericks head coaching job and leaving Michigan. That one threw everyone for a loop. Dusty May in Dallas, in time for the draft. How much decision-making will he be a part of as far as the draft is concerned, knowing that he's got several of his players that are going to be drafted right near the top?
That man's going straight to the war room from the plane.
He's got it
straight
right.
to the war room, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure Ujiri and him had a nice conversation about the plan of attack. Now, yesterday, according to, I think Jeff Goodman had this, according to his source, the 2 reasons why Dusty May left Michigan. I'll give the second one first because it's pretty simple. The chance to coach Cooper Flagg. But the first one, the state of college basketball and not knowing what it's going to look like tomorrow, in a month, or 5 years. When you have young, successful, and he's not real young, but he's not old. Like, it's one thing is Jay Wright leaving and some of these other coaches that just didn't want to be a part of the portal, NIL, rev share. You know, some of the older guys, give credit to Izzo and Calipari and those guys hanging in there. But some of the other ones hung it up. They just decided not to be a part of this. And Dusty May, with all the success at Michigan, all the money, the resources they have, making that statement, kind of scary. But he goes to Dallas, and now it looks like the Wolverines will promote Mike Boynton, assistant coach, for an interim basis. He, I don't believe, will be even considered for the permanent job unless Michigan has this great run. But Mike Boynton, who had a number of years at Oklahoma State, was basically a little bit above 500 coach, 10 games above 500. I think 7 years as head coach, 1 trip to the NCAA tournament. So I don't think Boynton's the long-term answer, again, unless he just shocks and they have this great year. But with Dallas and Dusty May, that leaves only Portland. We're going into the draft tonight. Portland does not have their head coach. You don't have to have your head coach, obviously, for the draft. It would be nice, but with Portland and their owner offering 3 cents on the dollar, they're having a tough time finding a coach.
That's, trying to be cheap. It's not going to be easy to find a certainly anybody who's not desperate to be a head coach.
If you have any thoughts on the trades that took place yesterday, your thoughts on Ja, the NBA draft, what you think the Grizzlies should do, hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines at 360-8255. We'll take your calls and read your texts when we return. We got a lot of other stuff to get into as well. James Fletcher will join us at 8:05 to talk some Tigers basketball and a little on the draft as well. We'll talk some golf with Mickey Barker at 9:05. Could be a big day today as far as the PGA Tour is concerned and their future schedule. Once again, hour one of the program brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery. Go to the website, olddominick.com. They list all their whiskeys and spirits. They list all their signature cocktails, instructions on how you can make them at home using Old Dominick spirits. That's olddominick.com. But make sure you stop by, take a tour of the distillery, and grab a drink at the distillery bar after dinner downtown for a nightcap after a show or a sporting event. It's Old Dominick and Old Dominick Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Chris Price here with Metro Builders. If you were anywhere in the Mid-South lately, you felt it. High winds, hail, and storms rolling through hard. And here's the truth. If your roof took a hit, you may not see it yet. Hail and wind damage shingles can compromise your roof, opening the door for water intrusion. And once it gets in, the damage spreads fast. Ceilings, walls, insulation, even mold. That's why the sooner we inspect, the less damage you risk. Right now, Metro Builders has teams all over Memphis performing free inspections, handling same-day repairs, and providing emergency water mitigation services if needed. We'll show you exactly what we see, document everything, and help you take action before a small problem becomes a big one. Don't wait until you see water inside. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717, or book your inspection online at MetroBuildersMemphis.com. That's Metro Builders Memphis. We don't just build, we build world class.
Why so down, little buddy?
Little buddy?
I'm just trying it out.
New.
Fine. Why so down?
Somebody invited me to a barbecue.
Ooh, I'm guessing they're not from here.
They were not.
It takes time for people from other parts of the country to understand that barbecue is a food, not an event.
Obviously, they meant a cookout.
I imagine you let them know that.
I did. I went on an extended rant about how if they want barbecue, they need to go to Central Barbecue, because Central Barbecue has the best barbecue in the world.
But they weren't planning on serving ribs at their barbecue?
They were cooking burgers.
Oh, those Philistines.
Marty McNate's on vacation, but passed along some exciting deals at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown's Volkswagen Driver Days event. If you're looking for sporty, we Gossett 2026 Jetta S. Just $249 a month. $249 a month for Jetta S. Luxury just got a new definition in 2026 Tiguan 2.0 TS. Now $269 a month. Brand new Tiguan S $269 a month. Plus 2026 Atlas SE. Only $329 a month. That's only $329 a month for a brand new Atlas SE. Marty McNate will be waiting for you at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown, 7420 Winchester Road. Online, GossettVWG.com, and remember, your future's what you make it. If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Atlas TC 564,681, MSRP 41,911, Jetta TMO 312,217, MSRP 25,791, Tiguan TMO 43,763, MSRP 32,881. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must be financed through Volkswagen Credit PF 895. Excludes tax title license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer in 6/30/26. Dealer stock only.
Kohl's deal days are right on time. Summer arrives and suddenly you need shorts that fit, flip-flops that survive the pool deck, a bath towel that isn't secretly your beach towel. Get up to 50% off at Kohl's and Kohl's.com, plus daily deals, free shipping, and instant Kohl's Cash. Now the only thing left on your list is having fun. Select styles, exclusions apply. No purchase necessary to get instant Kohl's Cash. While supplies last. Ends June 28th. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Sports 56 Traffic.
Good morning. Watching traffic build a little bit more over here where they've been working the last few weeks on 40, especially gets heavy at times in the morning time, westbound, coming past Warford, Hollywood, headed towards that 101 connector. Throughout the day, they're still over here working on 55 there between Mallory and 3rd Street in both directions. Hey, don't let a slipping transmission make things worse on your car, truck, having transmission problems. Come to Amco Transmissions today. 2 locations right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery in downtown Memphis. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
From what went down yesterday on a busy day in the NBA, the trade that took place with Giannis, the trade that took place with Randall, that wasn't the only player transaction. Trae Young, as he said, and as was expected, re-upped with Washington. They acquired him from Atlanta in the trade midseason, right before the deadline. 4 years, $212 million. So the Wizards are riding on the backs of little Trae Young, star power in Washington.
Yeah, that was, I did not see that much money. I was not expecting that big of a deal for him. That seems like an awful lot.
You didn't expect $50 million plus per year on Trae Young?
You know, there was talk of a 3-year deal, kind of averaging in the $40 million range. That made a little more sense. I was not thinking $212 million in that deal. That's I mean, Washington, certainly they've got some money to spend because they got a lot of guys on rookie deals, stuff like that. But yeah, that one caught me off guard with that much money committed to Trae Young over that period of time.
Jay Ham, I rattled off in our first segment about 8-9 Eastern Conference teams that could be very competitive. Washington, if Davis stays and stays healthy, big question. With Trae Young, Sarr, and some of the other younger players they have, can they make any noise in the East?
They could potentially make some noise. I mean, it won't be anything that they will go beyond round 1, round 2 maybe, but they can make some people sweat.
Okay.
Just going through the season, giving them some good games, and then if they were to potentially have a playoff matchup, they can, extend the series further than what the favorite will want it to go.
Yeah, I just don't believe that Anthony Davis, who once...
I think he's just caught up in TBS now, making the comedy show.
Yes, and he wants a ton of money for a guy who's always hurt. But again, Washington has done nothing for years, and to have a 1-2 tandem of Trae Young and Anthony Davis for as long as that lasts in a season still is ultimate star power. So maybe that's the way to go, to put butts in seats. In Washington. Also,
theoretically, whoever you pick number 1 overall tonight is supposed to put some butts in the seat.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That's who they should be. I don't have a problem with them with what they're doing. I can't believe they went that long for that type of money for Trae Young.
They made a deal to make a deal last year to be able to get them long term.
Yeah, it sounded like they just combined what you were saying. They got a bunch of young dudes on rookie money, and they got somebody that's going to help sell tickets with Trae. And then you bring in potentially an AJ DeMonster. Once they get the number 3 thing figured out, they'll be okay.
Who makes better sense for Washington if Davis is staying with Young now in the fold? Is it DeMonster or Peterson?
AJ.
I agree.
I say Peterson because I think he's the better player, but it doesn't matter. The position doesn't matter. I think Derek Peterson's the better player, so he makes more sense to me.
I think the emotional grab would go for Washington, D.C. would go for A.J. DeMonster right now.
I could just see Trae Young throwing up oops to either Davis or DeBonsa. And Peterson is probably a high-volume shooter. We know Young's a high-volume shooter. You can't go wrong, though. I don't think you can go wrong either way.
And then Alex Sarr is developing to a fine young player as well. It could be okay in D.C.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's taken a long time. You would hope if you're a Washington Wizards fan, all 7 of them, that eventually you have a team that competes a bit. We were talking earlier about the Dusty May move from yesterday. One thing I didn't bring up, it was out there yesterday. I don't know if it was ever confirmed that John Shire was the first choice and he turned them down. Is that accurate? Did you hear that?
Way back when, those were the 2 names that were both brought up.
But yesterday, within the last 2 days, though.
May.
But in the last 2 days, did they go back to the well to Shire and ask him, and he turned them down, and then May took it, or not? I've never I saw that story out there yesterday, but never saw it confirmed.
I can make sense of it, but I hadn't heard anything about it.
I would take Dusty May over John Shire any day of the week.
I don't know about that one.
I think John Shire, all he's doing is he's rolling off the coattails of Coach K. I think Dusty May is his own guy. He
Here's the thing
did.
about that, Greg.
Remember how bad Michigan was with Juwan Howard? They had 8 wins.
Here's the thing about that, Greg. The last decade of Coach K teams were put together by John Shire.
John Shire's recruiting at an unbelievable.
I know he can
He's had
recruit.
back-to-back national players of the year.
I know, but they haven't won it all, and they've been a little bit of a disappointment.
The last time
That's
they
the
won
coaching.
it all, John Shire put that team together.
It's his players, but Coach K's the guy calling the X's and O's. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if Shire's as good
He knew
coaching
well
the X's and
enough
O's.
that John Shire was connected with this generation of players to go get those players. It just hadn't turned the corner for him in terms of a head coach. And honestly, I look at what's happened. His players have failed him on the court. It's like they know better, but
we'll see. We'll see if Duke will still be able to get their guys. But now there are more teams that can pay a top dollar, maybe even more than Duke. And we'll see if they're able to get their pick of the litter for years to come. They're going to get their players, don't get me wrong. But there'll be other schools, because we've talked about it so many times, J-Ham, whoever has the money, whoever has the gold, and it may not just be, because Duke could do it before with Coach K and who they are and being a blue blood. Now it's a little bit more than that. It's show me the money. Right? Show me the money. And there's a lot more schools now that are stepping up. I mean, for goodness sakes, Indiana will be a player in basketball this year now because they're stepping up financially to match what they did in football.
John texts in on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line, 360-8255, 360-8255. Says, I'm excited about the NBA draft. I will be in attendance at FedEx Forum tonight as a long-tenured season ticket holder. I hope that Ja miraculously stays in Memphis and plays to the best of his abilities. The reality is that is almost certainly not happening. That said, the biggest issue we'll be facing this season, just like every other season, is health. Even if the Grizzlies had Peterson, Boozer, and DeBonsa, the injury woes would keep us from going anywhere near the playoffs.
Yep, that's their biggest concern. But the team they have right now, while certainly could be good, they're nowhere near the top of the West with what they have right now. Even a healthy Edey and all those guys being healthy, they're not competing right now with San Antonio and Oklahoma City. They need to get some pieces, and that's why this draft is critical. But he's right. John's right about any team being healthy. Was it you, J-Ham, that talked about that? You know, the Knicks are healthy.
Yeah.
They were the last team standing. They were all healthy.
That's been my cop-out prediction every year. The best of the remaining available teams is going to, who prevails.
Right.
That's normally who comes out.
Oklahoma City last year was very healthy. This year, they weren't in the playoffs.
Your physicians, your surgeons, your trainers, they may be more important than your general manager, your head
Those
coach.
are your max money guys right there.
Absolutely.
Another texter says, with that move by Miami, what does it mean for Ja? Well, it means that his home in Miami will continue to be a vacation home. And that's a team that now the Grizzlies, that is off the list for the Grizzlies.
Who's legitimately on the list? Now, there could be a team or two that we haven't even talked about that could be a mystery team.
We don't know because we have to wait to see who misses out. That's the whole point. It's who misses out on their targets.
I just fear that Ja gonna end up playing banana ball, man. What's going on, man?
Maybe he can go the Globetrotters. Maybe he can join the Globetrotters.
This is true,
Maybe they can trade him to the Globetrotters. Can they trade him to the Globetrotters? I don't know if that
we can
works.
get some assets from the Globetrotters, maybe. I don't know.
What pick do they have in this draft? The Globetrotters have a pick. They have 2 first-rounders in this one.
I think they're one first rounder.
The Generals, I know, are in relegation zone. They're
every damn year.
They can't get a top 5 because they've had top 5 picks forever.
We kid. It's sad though. It's really a sad story. I mean, he's got more money than Sin. He's got these shoes that are moving. He's fine financially. He's fine, but that shining star that we all expected to just take off right now is in limbo.
If we get him healthy, I'm with you. The second act will be a monster.
There's going to be a second act. I'm telling you, there's going to be a second act.
I'm with you.
It's just not going to be in Memphis. But where?
I don't think anybody thinks he forgot how to play basketball.
No, not at all.
He can't stay healthy. Like everybody believes if he's on the court, he's good.
Yeah, but if everybody takes a chance with guys like Anthony Davis every single year, why wouldn't a team right now that could buy low take a chance with Ja Morant? I don't get it.
It's like his last game. He probably didn't shoot the ball well, but he electrified. He was balling.
See, that's
that
why
night,
I think it's more than just the recent injuries and even the stats going down a bit this year when he did play. I still think the past indiscretions linger and continue to affect him and the perception from other teams of him.
The problem is guys of his build, generally when they break down, they're broken down.
Yeah, that's true too.
And paying that guy $40 million for the next couple of years, like you're not buying the old beat up car for that type of money.
Yeah, but those guys that are slightly built, slight as opposed to being big, but then the bigs and the feet and the ankles, the Zach Edey's of the world, they break down too. The big Cadillacs break down just like the little sports cars break down.
The size gets the benefit in that, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we look at a guy like Trae Young. Trae Young's a skinny little
Because
dude,
the big
but
guys
Trae Young isn't going in and dunking on your head. Once in a while he tries it, but he's bombing from the outside.
The big guys get the benefit of the doubt because they don't rely on their athleticism and burst like that. Like Ja, if he doesn't have that, he's like good. Derrick Rose's career came to a halt in a hurry because he broke down, and that's what he relied on.
Yeah.
Again, guys built like this and who rely on that, once they break down, they're broken down generally.
Yeah.
I mean, and do you want to invest $40 million or would it be over $80 million in that to watch him sit on your bench?
And it all comes down to the finances in the end. Just when you get to that, it's just like, does this make sense financially to continue to do?
Yeah,
and
true.
it's a hard pill to swallow. And Eli always brings it back to that reality. It's like, he's right. We just have to just bear with it and swallow.
I mean, again, Minnesota just moved down in the draft to get rid of a very good player because they had to get rid of his money. Moved down, just said, we will go we'll get out of the first round, go into the second round, and get rid of one of our most productive players because we just can't afford where we're at.
So at one point, a number of years ago, I ended up buying a Jaguar, pre-owned Jaguar. And I decided after a while, after I kept bringing it into the shop and they kept ripping me off, I'm trading that thing in. I'm getting a new car, and I'm going to get a regular, reliable car. And I got what did I get at that point? A Ford Fusion, which lasted 12 years. So I'd rather get the less expensive, brand new model, thus the rookie in the draft, than the pre-owned fancy car that breaks down. It's a pretty damn good analogy right there from my life with automobiles.
Yeah, and you just answered your own question.
No, I'm in agreement. I'm in agreement.
You're like, why won't people take a chance on Ja? Well, you just said it.
No, I'm in absolute agreement. But again, what we're saying is, if there is that second act coming, right? You don't know. But if there is, he's an electrifying must-watch guy. And that could be very beneficial to a team, especially that needs a little star power.
And if he's healthy with all of that, he's going to move the box office.
No question.
He's going to move the box office. If he's on the floor, he moves the box office. It's just when he's in street clothes, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but I think it's just more than health with him. I do. The most important thing is health. Most important thing is having to spend that kind of money on the guy. But I still think the background, the track record doesn't help. Does not help.
Well, no, it doesn't help. Again, that's the thing. Like, if you're not going to take the chance on the injured guy who also you have some question marks.
Yes, I'm in agreement.
It's a whole package, but the main thing is they haven't seen him on the floor in 2 seasons, basically.
I agree.
That's the problem. And again, guys like that, once they're broken down, they generally don't suddenly string together a bunch of healthy seasons after that. Another text said, I said a year and a half ago that if Ja didn't learn how to make a jump shot, he'd be out of the league. I don't know why anybody would want a guard that needs the ball that much. I hate it. Again, even without being able to make a jump shot, the dude can play. Like, if he's healthy, he's just not healthy, or it hasn't been healthy. Again, we saw a little bit when the few times he was on the floor this year, he had his moments. He could still have those, even without making jump shots. Because he is a willing passer. Like that's the thing you talk about. He's a playmaker.
I think he's a willing passer.
It's not just like he's like this. I'm going to go shoot 40 times a game. He's a great passer. He'll get guys involved, and he has that. But he's got to be.
He also has a clutch gene down the stretch. Give him the ball, and usually can win it for you. But he is not a good shooter.
Without being a great jump shooter, he can put the ball in the basket.
Yes.
He can score the ball.
Yes.
It's just, you need that in this league. Yeah, you're going to need to knock down jumpers, but you also need people around him that need to knock down jumpers too, so he can facilitate the basketball to them.
Somebody else says Ja to New Orleans. There was a reporter, and I don't know his name, but I think who covers the Pelicans, who came out yesterday, said that the Pelicans are not at all in the Ja Morant business.
No, they like the young fella. They like Fears. They love.
I don't know. I don't know who's in the job business right now.
Other than us.
Yes, like Eli said, let's see when the smoke clears after the draft and free agency what teams have, and then reassemble from there.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it's teams who miss out. Unfortunately, it would have been good news for the Grizzlies had Giannis had they taken the Boston deal and Miami had missed out on him, but they didn't. So that's where we stand right now, folks. If you've got a move coming up, you need to talk to the professionals, the experts from Black Tie Moving to take care of that for you. Folks at Black Tie who have been doing it for many years and taking care of folks here in the Mid-South and getting rave reviews from everybody that uses them. 5-star ratings online, A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. They're the professionals. They're the experts. You don't want to be doing that yourself or getting your lazy friends to help you. Get the professionals, get the experts to take care of you, take care of your belongings, and make sure that move goes as smoothly as it possibly can. 901-316-6196 or just go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis. Talk to the professionals, the experts from Black Tie Moving.
You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Be sure to download our Hub 901 app for instant access to Sports 56 and all the Flynn broadcasting stations from anywhere. Go to the App Store and get the Hub 901 app today.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
You know that feeling when something is supposed to be complicated and then it's not? That's the Dobbs Brothers way. For your new Chevrolet, there's no games, no runaround, no surprises, just straight answers from people who actually mean them. Buying a car shouldn't feel like a battle, and at Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet, it doesn't. Trust, transparency, and driving our community forward. That's the Dobbs Brothers way. Shop Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet of Bartlett today.
The Gossett Mitsubishi Summer Sales Event is going strong at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. Get America's best back vehicles with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. All remaining 2025 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross and 2025 Mitsubishi Outlanders, now $6,000 off MSRP. 2026 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport ES with standard super all-wheel control, buy for $27,105 or $349 per month. Plus, 2026 Mitsubishi Outlander ES, standard 7-seat capacity versus 5-seat Nissan Rogue and Honda CR-V. Buy for $30,310 or $399 a month. Plus, Tennessee residents get an additional $1,000 off all 26 Outlander Sports. That's Gossett Mitsubishi, 1956 Covington Pike, online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
84 months at 5.99 APR. Outlander TZO 2861. MSRP 32,810. Sport TU 101 2038. MSRP 28,985. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 895. Excludes tax title and licensee dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
Looking for that perfect piece that says forever? As did Grammy winner Lainey Wilson for her engagement. Discover the elegance of Holly Winter fine jewelry in Germantown. From stunning custom designs and engagement rings to timeless gifts she'll treasure for years. Holly Winter offers personalized service and beautiful fine jewelry for every occasion. Visit Holly Winter Fine Jewelry at the Shops of Forest Hill on Poplar, where Memphis finds sparkle, style, and something truly special. Holly Winter Fine Jewelry, 9155 Poplar, Suite 18.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery in downtown Memphis. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
We got Humdinger's Trivia coming up to open up hour 2. James Fletcher will join us to talk both Tigers basketball and the NBA draft. We got golf news to get to later on. Could be a big day in the PGA world with the PGA Tour Policy Board voting yesterday on the future of its schedule, which could affect Memphis as well. Tiger Woods in attendance yesterday. That's how important it was. And an announcement is expected today. Congratulations. Go ahead.
A couple other texts here on the Sicily's Log Cabin listener line. Says, if the Grizzlies weren't confident they're getting Boozer, do you think they would have bid in on the Julius Randle? No. He doesn't make sense for them and where their timeline is.
And he makes how much?
They didn't have the caps. Like Brooklyn and Chicago both, like they have nothing on the books basically for next year. Like they got to get to the salary floor so they can, like, they're both willing to take on some money. Like I think Brooklyn, even after now, they only end up shedding like, or they took on like $10 million, I believe, the difference between Claxton and Randall. Something like that, 10, 12, something like that. But they've still got like $30-some million of cap space for next year.
No, they added 5 rookies last year.
And the Bulls have like, I don't know what their cap number, like the Bulls have like, before taking on Claxton for literally nothing. I mean, they gave up a non-guaranteed contract guy. Like they had like, I think it was like $90 million committed for next year. Like the Bulls literally gutted their roster at the trade deadline for all those expiring deals. Like they have to, the salary floor for next year is $149 million. And I think the Bulls before this trade had $90-something million committed for next year.
Was it Chris Harrington yesterday who wrote that Chicago could be a possibility for a job? But then I'm thinking Josh Giddey is in Chicago, right? Josh Giddey has to have the ball in his hands. He's a triple-double guy. So I don't know how that would work out unless he would be on the trade block. But I think it was Chris. Apologies if I mistaken him for somebody else, but I thought it was Chris that talked to maybe Ja.
I can see
Chicago's a possibility.
I can see the Bulls. Again, they don't have anybody under contract for next year. They've got, I don't know what they think of Rob Dillingham, who they got in the one trade. I don't, other than that, there ain't much guard wise there. So, and again, they've got a boatload of money. They had $92 million committed for next year before that trade of taking on Claxton's deal. And again, they have to be at $149 million.
Yeah. So maybe it's a possibility.
You got to spend over $50 million just to get to where you have to be spending if you're the Bulls for it next season. The thing too,
I can spend their money if they want me to spend their money for them. I can do it.
How about the slap in the face of Julius Randle, though? The Knicks trade you away. They win the championship, and now you get traded back to New York on the other side of town, only to see all of the Knicks celebration and everything else while you're playing for the terrible Brooklyn Nets. It's just like, God, what a just ultimate slap in the face for him. Like
he's crying all the way to the bank.
Do I really have to go back there and like just watch these guys and see all these Knicks fans in town with their championship gear on?
Plus, as we've talked to New Yorkers like Adam Zagoria and Matt Infield, they said, while there's multiple teams for every big sport, the big four, they don't consider the Nets like a team. You got the Rangers and the Islanders. Of course, you got the Devils, too, in New Jersey. You got the Jets and the Giants. You got the Mets and the Yankees. You got the Knicks and the Nets. We don't even consider them. So, yeah. So now he's in obscurity in Brooklyn.
And that, this fully, like that, like that cat trade, phew, I would say the Knicks came out on top in that.
I would think so.
Man, that ends up looking awful for Minnesota.
Okay, yesterday, if you were expecting a competitive final game of the College Baseball World Series, you didn't get it. Oklahoma drills North Carolina 13-2 to win 2-1 in the championship series, and the Sooners become the 6th different SEC team in the last 7 years to win a title. They've won the last 7, 6 of those being different SEC schools. LSU was the one repeat winner, but 7 straight for the SEC as they win 13-2. And North Carolina did bring in Caden Glauber. He entered the game in the 4th, just didn't have anything left after pitching, 5 innings the day before. They tried him out. That's the first game that he has pitched in this year that North Carolina has lost. Entered the game in the 4th with North Carolina down 3-1, proceeded to walk a couple of guys, gave up a 2-run hit. But this one was all Oklahoma, no drama, and the SEC reigned supreme again.
Yeah, what an incredible run they put together from finishing 11th in the SEC, below 500, but just caught absolute fire in the postseason. We don't have time. There are so many unbelievable storylines from that team and the family storylines.
The 2 brothers.
There's a million different family things. It's crazy. The other thing too, the 13-2 final score, the same as the 2000 football championship game where they beat Florida State 13-2, which is crazy. And then
13-2 in baseball is bad enough. 13-2 in football.
And the year that their softball team actually misses the College World Series, the guys are like, "Don't worry, ladies, we got it this year." It's really amazing. But yeah, the family stuff, which we'll get to later, is just absolutely amazing.
Well, you think about this run of these SEC championship teams: Tennessee, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, LSU, Vanderbilt, Texas, and Oklahoma came over together. Texas is the more historically big-time baseball program. They had a great run this year, but they come up short. Georgia was the number 1 team. They won the regular season title and the SEC tournament in Hoover. They lose. And as you said, Oklahoma, could you imagine if they had a rule that if you were under 500 in your conference, you couldn't make the NCAA tournament as an at-large? They wouldn't be in there. And they were the 2nd seed in their regional. The regional they played in, which I don't even know where it was, but they were
Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech. They were the 2. I mean, it's just an amazing run, but it is a great run for the SEC in college baseball. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we open up the hour with Humdinger's Trivia. We'll be followed by James Fletcher, and then we'll get back to your calls and texts on the NBA draft with round 1 tonight, round 2 tomorrow, and the big trades that took place yesterday, and possibly more to come. Later on in the show, we'll talk some World Cup. Big day for the NCAA Division I cabinet. We could have the age-based eligibility model voted in. And as I mentioned, also the PGA Tour Policy Board expected to make a big announcement later today as well. Busy day here on this Tuesday. You're tuned into Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's time to get your backyard ready for the ultimate pool party with a little help from Family Leisure. If you've been sitting on the fence about taking the plunge with a pool, now's the time to take the dive. You want an above-ground pool? Done. Starting at $39.99, and that's with installation. You want an in-ground pool? Take your pick. They start at under $50,000. Accessorize that pool with a patio furniture set starting at just $9.99. Outdoor sectionals? They start at $12.99. In fact, all in-stock patio furniture sets are priced to move. And with select patio furniture sets, you'll get a free umbrella and base. Okay, you aren't looking to get into a pool just yet? Family Leisure has hot tubs that start at just $34.99. Get in shape or stay in shape with a swim spa starting at $16,999. Get your backyard, front yard, side yard, whatever, ready for fun. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
If there's one thing you can count on, it's 24/7 protection when you bundle home and auto insurance with Progressive. And if there's two things you can count on, it's your smoke detector battery dying at 3 a.m. Not 3 p.m. on a Saturday when you have nothing going on, but in the middle of the night when you're fast asleep.
Oh, come on!
Get 24/7 protection when you bundle home and auto with Progressive. Just one more thing you can count on. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now at Mattress Firm, get any size mattress for one low price starting at $219.99. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Nothing symbolizes your love like a natural diamond, and nothing compares to the real diamonds you'll find at Sissy's Log Cabin. Here, you'll only find brilliant natural diamonds that have been here long before your I do, and that will become more treasured with time, just like your love. Explore our expansive selection and enjoy unmatched quality and service at your nearest Sissy's Log Cabin or at sissyslogcabin.com. Find a real natural diamond worthy of your story only at Sissy's.
Sports 56 traffic.
Well, good morning. As that volume of traffic seems like it's gotten a little bit heavier southbound. Austin P trying to get on that ramp there onto I-40. It's building now around that 101 connector over there through that road work. We're going to be tricky at times throughout the day over here. You never know what you're going to get on 40 east and west there around Warford, Hollywood, all the way up to Watkins around that 101 connector. Hey, bridal season is here. Shop local this week. You'll be glad you did because you'll save money at Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Memphis's original sports station. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
To reveal the full spectrum of its dazzling color.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:03 the time. Again, happy day one of the NBA draft. That'll take place tonight, 7 o'clock Central. You can be a part of the watch party at FedEx Forum that the Grizzlies are hosting starting at 6. That's when the doors open again. That is free to the public. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Jay Ham with you on this Tuesday, the 23rd of June, 2026. We're broadcasting live and local from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure located at 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Should be a delightful day after yesterday. It rained and rained and rained some more, but today it's dry. 68 degrees. It's going to warm up to about 83. Mostly sunny. We will see a little bit of clouds, but again, the precip will not return until tomorrow. Unfortunately, though, thunderstorms a possibility tomorrow and Thursday, but today should be delightful. James Fletcher is going to join us in just a few moments to talk both Tigers basketball and the NBA draft. Hour 2 of the program brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. I'll give you the particulars a little bit later on. But it is Tuesday. It's time for Humdinger's Trivia.
That's right. Somebody out there going to win a $25 gift certificate to Humdingers over at Poplar and Massey is where you'll find them. You can find them online at humdingersrestaurant.com. If you go online, you can check out the menu. You can check out the great specials they have, like Taco Tuesdays, where you get their chicken or fish tacos, just $2 each. That's all day, each and every Tuesday that you can take advantage of that deal. Mondays, they've got a special on their great appetizer, the Humdinger Shrimp. Fridays, they got a special on the crispy fish and chips. But every day is just a great day to go over there to enjoy some of that delicious food. For many of the grilled fish options that they've got with some of the great toppings and sides. Maybe it's one of their po' boys or the piri piri burger or one of those chicken dishes. There's just all kinds of great things to choose from. Great catering option as well. If you've got an event and online, you can get information about catering. You can also order online for pickup. You can do all that again at humdingersrestaurant.com. Go on by and see them at Poplar and Massey. If you were the first to answer our trivia question correctly, you'll win that $25 gift certificate. You can answer via text on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line at 360-8255, 360-8255. Text in your answers. If you've won in the last 30 days, you're not eligible and you only get one guess, so be sure to use it wisely. Here is today's question. The Grizzlies have the 3rd and the 16th pick in tonight's first round of the NBA draft. There have been many great players, huge names who have been drafted 3rd overall in the history of the NBA draft. Some of the greatest players of all time, maybe the greatest player of all time, drafted 3rd overall. With the 16th pick, what 16th pick in NBA draft history made the most All-Star games? What 16th overall pick in the NBA draft has made the most All-Star games during their career? 360-8255, 360-8255. Text in those answers. First correct answer gets the $25 gift certificate to Humdingers. What 16th overall pick made the most All-Star games in their career?
As promised, it is time to talk with our friend James Fletcher, bracketologist, managing editor at On3 Sports. He covers the NBA draft for 5 Goats and host of the 3 True Values. He covers a lot of college basketball, and he will be a part of our weekly Memphis Tigers talk next or this fall, as James is a Memphian and knows an awful lot about Tigers hoops, and we're happy to have James be a part of our program. You can follow James on Twitter at JDFletch3. He joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. Hey, James.
Hey, how you guys doing this morning? I heard some really tough trivia there coming into this segment.
Yeah, you got to put your thinking cap on. But no guesses from you, James. You're ineligible to win our prizes. Hey, thanks for joining us as always. So tonight, obviously, is going to be a great night. We're going to talk about the draft here a little bit more with you in just a few moments. But let's talk some Tigers hoops. And again, obviously, you're not privy to the workouts in the summer and the team getting together. But right now, it's just an eclectic group that Penny Hardaway has put together. I think there are some nice pieces. It will all depend on how it all comes together. But I wanted to bring you on for the draft, and I wanted to bring you on to get your thoughts on Nemanja Popovic, who they just picked up, the Serbian player who had played in Poland and has played in the Adriatic League and has that professional experience at the age of 24, joining Penny Hardaway's squad. What do you know of the guy, and what do you think about a player of that age with that experience joining a team with a lot of younger players?
Yeah, obviously we're still learning a little bit about him, as we are many of these players who come from overseas who have been playing in these different leagues across the world. But a 6'8" forward from Serbia, as you mentioned, 24 years old, has already gone through the NBA draft as an auto-eligible player, so he went undrafted in that process, but averaged 14 points a game, almost 7 rebounds while in Poland, actually played with former Memphis Tiger Malcolm Dandridge while he was there, 26 minutes a game, a guy who has been a starter recently and really built out a professional career for himself overseas. So it's going to be interesting to see. He's coming to the college game. He will be one of the real veteran presences that we have in college basketball with his age. But what we do know about him and what he's going to offer is that he's a very physical interior presence. He's going to provide them an aggressive style on that end of the floor. He scored 27 points in a recent game over there in Poland. So he's a guy who can really fill it up when he gets to it. He's not going to stretch the floor. Don't get that twisted. Not really a three-point shooter at this point, but a guy who can really throw them another changeup in this lineup that you described it as eclectic, but I think it's right now eclectic, but we could look up if things do click in the right places and say that this is a very versatile lineup. It's kind of how the language goes from the off season to the regular season, how we start to view things. It all depends on if things work together, but they have a lot of different options in how they want to construct this, even on a nightly basis.
Do we know if they do pass the 5-for-5 eligibility thing, how they're going to implement that and how that would affect a guy like him?
I think that there is still some murky waters in terms of how it impacts the international players. But the one thing that we do know is that it is 5 years from either your high school graduation, whenever you would become a freshman by the American kind of traditional standards, or they are setting an age, I believe it's 19, for these international players. And so I believe he would be in his last year of eligibility regardless. The NCAA has been going through kind of a waiver process. I know I struggle with the word waiver and kind of what it does and doesn't mean with the NCAA anymore, but they have been kind of evaluating each case and deciding what year in terms of eligibility they're going to provide to each player as they come over. I would assume that Popovich, being a post-NBA draft guy who's already gone through that cycle, he would be likely to only get 1 year of eligibility regardless, although we have seen some older players get up to 4 years of eligibility, depending on what their situation was overseas, the kind of team that they were playing for at that time.
Yeah, I wonder if some of those guys, and it may not be the situation with Popovich if he only plays the 1 year, but if he plays multiple years, if those guys would be grandfathered in.
Yeah, there will be an interesting discussion. I think that it's going to be hard for the NCAA not to grandfather in certain players, particularly ones that, as I mentioned, they went through a process and determined how many years of eligibility they should be granted. So it's going to be very difficult. We know how often the NCAA ends up in court and how often they've lost in those court battles. So I think it's going to be a really tough case for them to try to go into a courtroom and debate if the argument is, you told me I had this many years to play, and now you're coming back and trying to take those away from me.
All right, let's take a look at the roster. And again, obviously, you haven't seen them. I haven't seen them up close in person, what they're doing right now in the offseason. But they're together, and that's very important that they're getting the chemistry that they need and hopefully the camaraderie, and they're all getting along and things are going swimmingly. But I call it eclectic because it is a roster that has 3 freshmen, junior college guys, 2 holdovers, professionals, guys internationally, guys from inside regular college basketball, veterans. I mean, that's why I call it eclectic, because it's guys from all over the place. And I like what he did in putting together this team. What do you see when you look at this roster right now? First of all, at the point guard position, he brings in a guy from Northwestern and Jaden Reed. Any question in your minds, Jaden Reed's going to be the starting point guard?
I do believe that Jaden Reed will be the starting point guard for this team. You look at the way that this roster was constructed, and the point guard position, there's some good secondary options there, but I do think he is your go-to guy. He's the main guy that they have in this lineup, who is a primary ball handler, going to really get you into your offense consistently over the course of the game.
Okay, and then alongside him, do you see the former Pitt player Brandon Cummings being the starting 2?
I still have that right now as I look at my early projections for each lineup. I think that Cummings, with the scoring that you saw last year, has a really good case to earn that spot, but I don't think that there's going to be any kind of guarantees made, as Josh Holloway is given the opportunity to compete with him for a spot there in the lineup. Julius Bedford coming back, I think, will be given an opportunity to compete. I think that Penny's really going to open this thing up and let the guys decide for themselves on the court who is going to be in that starting lineup, and that's a situation where it might even have some fluctuation throughout the year, depending on matchups, depending on what these guys are looking like, what kind of form they're in.
Overall, just mainly because of the way it fits. How would you compare this to some other of the Penny rosters?
I think that it's a very interesting one to compare because obviously if we go back pre-NIL, we can look at some of the top-end prospects. We know that he had some NBA caliber guys who were in that lineup and particularly at the center position kind of anchored what they were doing. They don't have that this year. They also don't have some of the kind of electric guards that we've kind of fallen in love with from time to time during the Penny era as that go-to guy at the point guard position who's going to fill it up as a bucket getter as much as he is facilitating for everyone else. But what this roster does have is a wide range of different players that fit into not only different positions on the floor, but into different matchups. You can play against a team that is playing 2 or 3 bigs out on the court at a time and feel comfortable that you've got the bodies to match up with that. You can also go out there and face a team that's playing with 3 guards and feel like you can perfectly reasonably be able to guard all of them and be able to counter that on the offensive end. So they're going to mismatch hunt quite a bit this year, I think, particularly in the American, which is, as we know, going to be a real focus for this team. I know that the big kind of luxury games that you get against the high major competition, those are what bring in the fans. That's what kind of builds excitement for the back half of the year. But if you're going to make it to the NCAA tournament, you've got to go out and win consistently in your conference. And I think that having the versatility to match up talent-wise and positionally against anyone that you can come up against is going to serve him really well. And it's something that we haven't really seen consistently in the Penny Hardaway era.
James Fletcher joining us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. You can follow James on Twitter at JDFletch3. I agree with your breakdown and your analysis of this team. It's interesting because every year it seems like we get to the discussion of Penny goes so deep with his team. Why not run a 8-man, maybe a 9-man rotation? He goes 11, 12. And, last year was weird because he had 2-3 guys at the back end, maybe 4, that you can understand why they weren't getting playing time. I'm looking at this team. Now, you got the 3 freshmen coming in, which is also very, very interesting, as you know, led by Fred Smith and Cello Jackson and Parker Pounds. I don't know how they all fit in, but I got to figure Fred Smith at least is getting minutes. But you mentioned the different things that he can do. I'm looking at all these guys, some of these versatile players, and the front line now with the addition of Popovich, with Tyleik Weeks, with Jerry Dang, with Williams, with Logie. I mean, how is he not going to – he's got to go 10 deep at least, doesn't he?
He probably does. And it's always going to come down to kind of the interactions in that locker room, what the vibes of this team is. I feel like with the Penny Hardaway era, that has really been the biggest talking point. What is this team like behind the scenes? Do they like each other? Do they go out on the floor and look like friends who are playing together and enjoying their time out there? Or do they look like guys who are kind of hired in and have no cohesion? It doesn't feel like they're a unit together.
Right.
And that's kind of been the distinguishing factor, whether we've seen successful Penny Hardaway teams or the ones that have struggled or fallen short of expectation. That's going to, again, be the storyline this year because you're going to try to manage the egos, try to keep people happy. I know that they've done quite a bit of background on this roster that they've put together. They feel like this is a group that can come in and be cohesive. Obviously, that's a big piece of hiring a GM and being able to put in the extra work into that background, understanding who you have in the door before they all mesh together. But it is hard. When you start playing different lineups and a guy has started 2 games in a row, now he's on the bench, he's only going to play 10 minutes today. It's hard to manage that as the head coach. And that's what Penny Hardaway is going to have to continue to figure out throughout the course of this season is it better to play 12 guys and keep them all kind of happy? Or is it better to go to 8 or 9 and have some frustration build on that bench and maybe it even rotate? Who's frustrated throughout the course of the season?
So the draft tonight, round 1, do you expect the top 2 picks to go as form with either Debonsa Peterson or Peterson Debonsa and the Grizzlies end up with Cam Boozer?
I still do. I think that at the end of the day, A.J. Debonsa has been kind of the top guy in this class dating back to when he was in middle school, really. And I know that Peterson in some rankings finished number 1 in the high school class. That had a lot to do with what we saw in those all-star events, the showcases, their senior year. But then DeBonsta comes back and he has the better freshman season. There's obviously, between the injury concerns, between the concerns about why he pulled himself out of certain games, there are just more question marks around Darren Peterson than there are A.J. DeBonsta. Not to mention that I just think the fit with the Wizards might be a little bit better for DeBonsta than Peterson. Same with the Jazz. I think that the fit for Peterson on the court is a little bit better than DeBonsta in that situation, even though we know the long-standing kind of relationship that Jazz front office has with DeBonsta. But regardless of what order those two do come off, I expect it to be those two. And then the Grizzlies too take Cameron Boozer at number 3. He fits everything analytically that this front office wants, everything from a personality standpoint that this front office wants. He is the type of player that they want to build this new core, this new franchise. Everything they want is in Cameron Boozer. I don't see them passing up on that under any situation tonight.
James, give me a player or two in your estimation that you feel is being overvalued and one or two that's being undervalued.
Yeah, a couple of guys that might be overvalued in terms of where they end up on draft night. It would include Nate Ament. I think that's a guy who's probably going in the top 10 tonight, and it's going to shock a few people based on the conversations that were had about him late in the college season. He started to kind of fall out of favor with some people, but at the end of the day, this is a league that relies on top-end potential guys, and he has some of that top-end potential, so somebody's going to take a swing on him, somebody who doesn't need to be successful in year 1 or 2 with him, but can really take the time to develop him and grow. But I don't think the early returns are quite going to be to line up with where he's selected in this draft. Mm-hmm. Another interesting one who could go pretty high relative to what he maybe has been projected in the past is a Terrace Reed or a Zuby Ejiofor. I think that when a run of centers comes off the board, those guys are likely to end up in the first round because you're going to look around and think about just the scarcity of the center position in this draft. There's just not that many draftable players, even as we get into the second round, who you want on your roster. So those guys are going to become extra valuable. Guys who I think are a little bit underrated, though, I would really kind of start with Jaden Quainton. It's going to be really interesting to see. He's clearly got medical red flags as we see him just keep dropping down the board. This is a guy who was projected to be a top 10 pick dating back to when he was in high school, reclassed up, played 2 years of college basketball, but had the knee problems. When he is right and when he is out there, defensively, he is a monster. He is one of the top guys in this class at that center position. But who's going to take the chance on him? Who is going to overlook those red flags or at least kind of work alongside those red flags and figure something out for him? Yaxel Lindeborg, another one who there's question, personality, whatever it is that going to stop somebody from taking him, seeing what he did at Michigan last year and the versatility that he brings to any lineup he's in?
It's going to be a lot of fun the next couple of nights, and we'll continue to monitor what's going on with the Grizzlies and, of course, Ja Morant. So much to happen this summer. James, it's great to have you on. We look forward to talking to you again later in the summer, but this fall on a weekly basis talking Memphis Tigers hoops. Thank you. We can't thank you enough for being a part of our program. Make sure to follow James on Twitter at JDFletch3, managing editor at On3 Sports, NBA draft coverage for 5 Goats, and he's the host of the 3 True Values. He's James Fletcher. Thank you, James. Great stuff.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Take care. Hour 2 of the program brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Again, if you're getting hitched this year, make sure you look at James Gaddis Jewelers, one of the jewelers that you check out the beautiful diamond engagement rings. They have the natural earth diamonds, the lab-grown diamonds as well. Great value, great customer service. Read the reviews. So many people have purchased their engagement rings and wedding rings from James Gaddis over the 60 years they've been in existence. They got to be doing something right. James is a master jeweler, a certified appraiser, a diamondologist. He's graded by the Gemologist Institute of America. He has all the credentials you want when you're buying that diamond engagement ring, wedding ring, or personally designed wedding sets, or any other piece of fine jewelry. From watches to necklaces to bracelets to earrings to pendants, one-of-a-kind state and vintage jewelry, birthstones of all types. It's James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick. on the web at GaddisJewelers.com. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 5, Saturday, 10 to 4. When you stop by, tell James that you heard it here on Sports 56 Mornings. It's James Gaddis Jewelers. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
You have opinions?
I think it's over.
Of course you do.
I don't think it's that simple.
Everyone does.
I got all the answers.
Hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line at 360-8255.
This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf Realtors, and I may be Mr. Three-Putt and known as the worst golfer in town, but I do sell some houses for people. There are 7 keys to selling your home quickly for a really good price. First, call or email me to find out about my highly successful strategic marketing program that can help you sell your home quickly at a good price. I guide people what to do and what not to do to prepare to beat your competition. I mentioned 7 keys. Well, if you call me first, you don't need the other 6. Find out why people often say that when you want the job done, call Sheldon. I may be the horrible golfer that people talk about, but I don't fool around when it involves your biggest investment. I'm here to provide answers and good advice to help you. You can reach me at 483-0546 or email me at shellrose@memphisrelocate.com. That's right, relocate is in my name. That's shellrose@memphisrelocate.com or 483-0546.
Guns, guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Corky's Barbecue in Cordova.
Chris Price here with Metro Builders. If you were anywhere in the Mid-South lately, you felt it. High winds, hail, and storms rolling through hard. And here's the truth. If your roof took a hit, you may not see it yet. Hail and wind damage shingles can compromise your roof, opening the door for water intrusion. And once it gets in, the damage spreads fast. Ceilings, walls, insulation, even mold. That's why the sooner we inspect, the less damage you risk. Right now, Metro Builders has teams all over Memphis performing free inspections, handling same-day repairs, and providing emergency water mitigation services if needed. We'll show you exactly what we see, document everything, and help you take action before a small problem becomes a big one. Don't wait until you see water inside. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717, or book your inspection online at MetroBuildersMemphis.com. That's Metro Builders Memphis. We don't just build, we build world class.
This traffic brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Learn more at OldDominick.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. It's trying a little bit better here on 40 westbound at Sycamore View Road on this earlier crash. That's it. Again, slow go traffic in this area, but it's already heavy anyway. All that traffic coming in from Fayette County into Shelby County again. Trying to improve a little bit, but it's been heavy. 40 westbound at Sycamore View Road. Don't let a slipping transmission make things worse on your car and truck. If you're having transmission problems, come to Amco Transmissions today. Tell them I sent you. I'm Commander Chuck, your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Don't you just love it?
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Once again, it was a huge day for the stars of the World Cup. And I don't know what the defensive strategy is for some of these nations, but perhaps they're just not good enough to figure out a way to maybe double Messi or double Mbappe or do something against any of the great players, because the great players are coming through every single time. Now, we'll see what happens today with Portugal and Cristiano Ronaldo, who's up there in age and he's been criticized Portugal didn't score in their first match. We'll see if he can come through. Harry Kane and England are going at it again against Ghana. Harry Kane had 2 goals in his first match for England. If I was a smart gambler, and I don't gamble a lot, but I would be betting on these guys to score multiple goals because that's all they seem to do. So Harry Kane for multiple goals today, I think would be the play. But yesterday, Eli, Argentina beat Austria 2-0. Who scored the 2 goals? Messi. But he did miss a PK. I was watching when he missed the penalty kick. Could have had a hat trick. He now has the record for goals with 18 in the World Cup. Mbappe now is only 2 behind. And all-time wins as a player in the World Cup. 18 wins. Of course, Argentina is the defending champions. France beat Iraq 3-0. Mbappe had 2 of their goals. Norway beat Senegal 3-2. Their star, Erling Haaland, he had 2 goals. And then late last night, Algeria beat Jordan 2-1. But those guys all had multiple goals in their first games. So they do it again. So again, today the play has to be multiple goals for Harry Kane. Today you got England and Ghana. Portugal will play Uzbekistan, Panama and Croatia, and Colombia and Congo DR at the World Cup.
More braces than an 8th grade classroom.
That's a good one. You've been waiting for that one. That is a good one.
Braces everywhere.
And for
you get a brace. You get a brace.
Who don't know,
you get a brace.
Thanks, Oprah. For those who don't know. And I'm shocked that last week, Lawrence Dockery, who will be on with us tomorrow, he comes on weekly, didn't know the origin of the brace. I don't know the origin, didn't look it up. But a brace is 2 goals. When a player scores 2 goals.
Yes, indeed.
3 is still a hat trick. It's a hat trick in hockey. It's a hat trick in soccer. It's a turkey in bowling.
We do have a winner in our Humdingers trivia. And this may be the fastest an answer's ever come in. I didn't even get the question finished. I think they might be telepathic and knew the question I was going to ask. I swear I don't think I finished the question and they had already answered it correctly.
Maybe the clock's wrong.
Huh?
Maybe there's a problem with the time. You see the time that the question's answered. Maybe there's something wrong with that.
I saw the answer come in.
You literally looked at the answer and you were still saying the question.
Yes, pretty much.
I don't know how that's possible.
It was unbelievable.
Because I knew it and I saw it coming in as he was answering. I'm like, wow.
I swear, I think it's the fastest I've ever seen an answer. It was immediate. They either telepathic or obviously they knew it and they somehow had it locked and loaded, ready to go. But the quickest typer in the history of mankind, I don't know. But it came in fast. The question was, what 16th overall pick in the NBA draft has made the most All-Star games? It's not close because there's one who has more All-Star games than the rest of the 16th overall picks combined. And that would be John Stockton, who was drafted 16th overall in 1984. He went to 10 All-Star games in his career. Next on the list are 2 active guys, Nikola Vucevic and Alperen Şengün, each with 2. And there are only 4 other 16th picks who ever made an All-Star game. Metta World Peace, Dana Barros, Ricky Green, and Chris Gatling. The history of the 16th overall pick, not nearly as good as you would expect as the 3rd overall pick. The 16th overall pick after John Stockton. Again, Vucevic has had a nice career. Alperen Şengün certainly is a good young player. There's not a whole lot out there. Brevin Knight, our buddy, he was the 16th overall pick. Maurice Spates, former Grizzly. James Johnson, former Grizzly. 16th overall picks. I mean, man, it is a rough. Rodney Carney was a 16th overall pick. I didn't realize that he was 16th overall.
Also, a number 16 overall pick, Tony Delk, who went to Kentucky. Is he from Tennessee?
Brownsville.
Yeah. He's from nearby Brownsville. Tony Delk, number 16. I bring that up because I'm segueing in to the. Oh, go ahead. Finish up.
The Grizzlies once drafted Troy Bell, they didn't technically drafted, but they traded for him, 16th overall. Hope they do better with this 16th overall pick than that one. The 3rd overall pick, though. The 3rd overall pick, I didn't even realize until I started really looking at this last night. Holy cow. The 3rd overall pick is like, it's been hard to go wrong with the 3rd overall pick in the NBA draft. You start with Michael Jordan. That's pretty good.
Never heard of him. Next.
Wilt Chamberlain technically wasn't the 3rd overall pick, but he is considered the 3rd overall pick because he was a territorial pick by the Warriors, the Philadelphia Warriors, who had the 3rd pick in that draft. They actually drafted him before the draft, but since they were the 3rd pick, he slotted into the 3rd pick.
Territorial pick.
He is technically the 3rd overall pick in his draft. James Harden, Carmelo Anthony, Dominique Wilkins, Pau Gasol, Kevin McHale, Grant Hill, Pete Maravich.
I would hope you do pretty well with the number 3 overall pick.
Grizzlies with Sharif Abdul-Rahim, Luka Doncic, Jason Tatum, Joel Embiid, Jaylen Brown. I mean, Penny Hardaway, Sean Elliott. I mean, it's an amazing list of guys who have been drafted 3rd overall. Grizzlies also had O.J. Mayo as a 3rd overall pick. Of course, they didn't technically draft
Minnesota,
him, but they traded for him. I mean, it's amazing. You talk about just the All-Star game. I was looking at the difference between 16. Like, there is a million All-Star games of guys, which, again, you're 3rd overall. You should. But, my goodness, it is an amazing list. Right now, you've got guys like Evan Mobley, LaMelo Ball, who were 3rd overall picks.
These basketball decision makers, they miss it. They miss time to time, but they're pretty good at what they do in evaluating talent.
Al Horford and Chauncey Billups were 3rd overall.
I think the one notable miss at 3 that I can think of is Adam Morrison, just off top.
Yeah.
That's the one day at 3 that I think that missed.
Yeah, Porn Stash didn't have a great NBA career, did he? They miss every once in a while, but they're really so it makes sense that the 3 pick has had all this success. 16 tougher, but this draft is where people think they're going to find stars, and you can find stars in the 2nd round. You get lucky, but they really think that it's so deep that even deeper in the 1st round, you can find guys that'll be multiple All-Stars. Now, you brought up Sharif Abdul-Rahim. He was the 3rd pick, as you said, of the Grizzlies. The Vancouver Grizzlies in 1996. So 30 years ago, the draft 30 years ago, he came here when we knew that the team was coming. Sharif Abdul-Rahim was at an event because I went and I interviewed him, and then, of course, he was dealt. We ended up with Pau Gasol and all that. Okay. Yeah. But in this particular draft in 1996, is that considered the greatest draft ever? Okay. So the number 1 pick was a guy by the name of Allen Iverson. Okay. Number 2 was Marcus Camby.
Played a long time.
Came from John Calipari's Massachusetts Minutemen. Sharif Abdul-Rahim, very good, solid career.
Yeah.
Steph Marbury, 4th. Ray Allen,
Hall of Famer,
5th. Antoine Walker,
very good.
Lorenzen Wright was 7.
Our guy.
Kerry Kittles, 8.
Good career.
Samaki Walker, not much.
Well.
Eric Dampier from Mississippi State, covered them in the Final Four, and not a great career. Todd Fuller, NC State, didn't do much. Vitaly Potapenko, who was with the Grizzlies, assistant coach, played with Cleveland. Then we get into Kobe Bryant.
Some guy from high school.
13. Peja Stojakovic at 14.
Right.
Steve Nash at 15.
Hall of Famer.
Tony Delk, I mentioned, pretty good. Jermaine O'Neal was a pretty good player.
Yeah.
I'll just go down the list for a few other guys. So Zydrunas Ilgauskas was a pretty darn good player.
Yeah.
Derek Fisher had a long career in the NBA. So let me see if I got anybody else here down. Malik Rose was a 2nd-round guy who dominated Ren at the NCAA tournament that I covered.
Couple
at
NBA
the Pit in New
championships
Mexico.
as well.
Couple of championships. I'm not sure if there's anybody else here in the 2nd round. Let me see. No, but you're talking about how many Hall of Famers did I name?
It's like 4 in their crew.
4 Hall of Famers.
Yeah. Nash, Kobe, Ray,
Iverson.
Yeah.
4 Hall of Famers from that class.
And some really good guys like you mentioned Sharif Abdul-Rahim.
Yeah, guys who had really good careers, long careers.
Yeah.
That was an amazing draft.
03, 96, And from my research, I think 1970 was considered one of the big ones as well. But that's that's before the modern, because like Eli mentioned, territorial picks and things of that nature. They don't come into play in 96 and 03, but happened in 1970. I think it's like 5 Hall of Famers in the 1970 draft. So
the was 2003 was that was LeBron?
That was LeBron, yeah. LeBron, Melo, Wade, Bosh.
Yeah, that top 5, other than Darko. Poor Darko. One of these guys is doing his own thing. LeBron, James, Gorilla, Anthony, Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, and Darko was inserted there at number 2.
He fits in there like how Sean Bradley fits in the 92 with around Shaq and Zoe and those dudes.
Although Sean Bradley fits in a smaller,
93, my fault.
He fits in a smaller spot.
Yeah. This is
kind of a skinnier hole for him to fit into than Darko.
Did you know about Sean Bradley, like post basketball, that he was involved in a car hit him when he was on his bicycle?
The bike accident.
Yeah.
Almost killed him.
He's like paralyzed from the waist down.
I've seen him out recently. He's been making some appearances and whatnot, but yeah, he's in bad shape.
Sitting in that wheelchair, he's probably still taller than me.
Very much.
It's a shame. Sad. It really is.
Yeah, it is.
They called him, remember when he was playing? They called him Stick Man.
Yeah.
That's how thin he was.
I mean, and he hung around a long time.
He played it.
Yeah, he
played with the Sixers, played with the Mavs.
Played with the Mavs for a while, yeah.
He had some success. He could actually step out and he could step out and shoot it a little bit.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if they were the first. You would know, Mr. Historian, but I'm thinking of the guys that were like 7 foot plus that could step out and hit a 3. I'm not saying they were shooting 45% from 3. Sean Bradley and Manute Bol.
Yeah, the one night where Manute went for like 6 threes.
Was there anybody before them? Any of the bigs? Kareem wasn't doing it. Wilt wasn't doing it.
Bob McAdoo was considered the first stretch 5.
And he was 6'11". I don't think he was 7 foot, but he was close.
But he was the center, and he was stretching the floor.
One of my favorite players.
He was a bucket.
Bob McAdoo. That Buffalo Braves team with Randy Smith, Ernie DiGregorio.
I did my research on those
McAdoo. I love that team.
Folks, if you're buying or selling a home, you always want to make sure you have a great realtor that's helping you through the process, guiding you through the process, who knows the market, who's experienced in the entire process. And Bubba Sandifer at Emmett Baird Realty can be that realtor for you. 901-319-0747, 901-319-0747. If you're looking to buy, he'll help you find that perfect home for you and your family. If you're selling, well, he's going to make sure you get that maximum exposure for your home. You get top dollar. And of course, if you do want to get out of it quickly, if you're just trying to get rid of your home very quickly, well, Bubba will buy it as is for cash, and you can be out and on your way. Either way, whatever you're looking for, Bubba's going to work with you to make sure that you get exactly what you're looking for. So give Bubba a call, 901-319-0747. Bubba Sandifer at Emmett Baird Realty.
You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Unlock your new go-to spot, Codes Dispensary in Steele, Missouri, just over an hour from Memphis. When you're ready for a legal, reliable option, they're right up the road. Explore the full menu of top-shelf products in-store and online. Short on time? Order ahead and cruise through the drive-thru for a quick pickup. Stack rewards while you stock up with Club Codes. Earn points for every dollar spent. Codes Dispensary, now open in Steele, Missouri. Supreme cannabis that's worth the drive. Learn more at CodesDispensary.com. That's CodesDispensary.com.
Hey, you ready to bang? Bangers Pickleball in South Haven is now open with 10 courts, a restaurant, and 3 bars. New to pickleball? No problem. Take a free Bangers 101 class to learn. Bangers offers a great time for everyone, and there's no membership required. Bangers even has events for you non-pickleballers like mahjong, trivia, whiskey, and wine tasting. Bangers Pickleball has it all. All the rage, all the fun, all for you. Please dink responsibly at Bangers Pickleball, 6787 Snowden Lane, South Haven, Mississippi. Let's bang.
It's here. King of the Hill and WD-40 brand present the limited edition King of the Hill WD-40 Collector's Can. Available now exclusively at the Home Depot, in-store and online. How many are you grabbing? One for you, one for your dad, and one for every Hank in your life. Get your King of the Hill WD-40 Collector's Can today before they're gone. Watch the new season of the Hulu original King of the Hill on July 20th. Streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus for bundle subscribers. Terms apply. Available nationwide for a limited time or while supplies last. Availability varies by location and online.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at triumphautosales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
Rebel Nation, get the latest on everything Ole Miss sports with the Cannon Motors of Mississippi Rebel Yell Hotline. Join Rebel insiders Chuck Rounsville, Yancey Porter, and Gary Darby Monday nights at 6 as they break down the latest with the Rebels, along with even more insight from special guests. Rebel Yell Hotline, Mondays at 6 p.m. on WHBQ.
Stay up to date with everything going on in Ole Miss athletics with Rebel Yell Hotline every Monday night from 6 to 7 on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Diamonds are forever. Woo!
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
NCAA Division I cabinet is set to meet today and tomorrow with a vote expected on the age-based eligibility model. We talked a little bit about this with James Fletcher, who was on with us earlier. Sources tell On3, and he is the managing editor for On3, that the model has the momentum and the backing to pass. So we're talking about that 5-for-5 age-based model, which again would start when you turn 19 or after you graduate, and then you can play 5 years of college athletics, 5 seasons in those 5 years, which is going to be interesting because it's going to negate a lot of records and stats and things of that nature historically, because it used to be you only played 4. Then people started to get waivers and everything has changed, but now it would be a steady flow of 5-for-5. If you want to go 5, you play 5. But you've got to think that players for their individual schools or maybe even national records, if they stay the whole entire time, will be dropping like flies.
I still don't, and we don't, I guess we don't know. We'll have to see, like, how they implement this, like how, because again, like the Popovich guy under this rule would not be eligible. If it is implemented for next year, like he's had 5 years since he turned 19.
Right, but what I'm saying is there's got to be a grandfather clause. If they pass this guy's already on campus, already enrolled in school. I don't think they're turning around and going to grab everybody that doesn't fit that criteria and pull him out. I don't think that will happen. And I believe he's only going to be a one-and-done guy anyway. But for those who get multiple years and would also exceed the 24 or the age limit, whatever it is, that could be an issue. But I think all those guys that right now are guys and gals should be grandfathered in. But I don't know how they plan to do it. But that's what's being discussed today and tomorrow. They could take a quick vote, and that could become part of the lexicon of collegiate sports. 5-for-5.
Yeah, again, I want to see how they're implementing it. Because they had said that it wouldn't apply to people who, like current college athletes who used up their 4th year of eligibility last year. You're not suddenly going to get a 5th year. But I want like somebody like Popovich who has already used or who would already be past,
right?
Who's coming here for the first time. How is that going to apply to somebody like that? How just exactly how they're going to implement it is. I'll be interested to see because, and then also, of course, who will be the first to take it to court? How long does that take? And
well,
all that stuff.
It is the University of Memphis, so more than likely they'll pass it and then they'll pull this guy and they'll send him back. They'll send him back to Serbia. The PGA Tour Policy Board voted yesterday on the future of its schedule. Tiger Woods back from treatment overseas, I think where was he? Switzerland? He's back. He was there. He was part of this. Sweeping changes are coming. An announcement is expected today.
They've made the announcement.
What have they announced? I missed it.
There will be, it's what everybody kind of knew was coming. There will be a PGA Tour Championship Series and a PGA Tour Challenger Series. The Championship Series will be 23 to 24 events, including the Players' Championship, the Majors, President's Cup, Ryder Cup. Season will run approximately February to August. They say they've already lined up the initial set of 10 of its expected 15 PGA Tour Championship Series regular season events for 2028. The remaining events will be either filled by existing events or new markets under consideration, such as Boston, Denver, New York, Philadelphia, San Francisco, Seattle, and Washington, D.C. They will have each championship series event will have a purse of at least $20 million, fields of approximately 120 players. The PGA Tour Championship Series will also feature a reimagined postseason, including the introduction of match play, with a new look tour championship contested across a rotation of prestigious courses, many of which the PGA Tour would be playing for the first time.
So does this eliminate the FedEx Cup?
Yes. The PGA Tour Challenger Series will offer a slate of at least 20 events with purses of at least $4 million as players look to earn promotions. These events will be played on distinguished venues that have traditionally hosted PGA Tour events. Challenger Series tournaments will be played concurrently with the PGA Tour Championship Series, will feature fields of approximately 144 players. The ability to reduce field sizes due to restrictions like daylight. Each tournament will be 72 holes, blah, blah, blah. Approximately 7 of the Challenger Series events will be played during PGA Tour Championship Series off weeks with increased consequences, benefits, and exposure. Championship Series players will not be eligible to participate in the Challenger Series events. Then there's going to be there will be moving up and down between the two levels.
Relegation?
It's at minimum the top 90 finishers of the championship players will be fully exempt for the following season, while those who fail to retain membership may risk relegation to the Challenger Series. Similarly, a minimum of 20 players from the Challenger Series will be promoted to the Championship Series
relegation
for the following season.
Does it say anything about the players in the top series having to play every event or a minimum amount of events? Because right now they're going through the whole thing with Rory McIlroy and maybe not even guaranteeing a spot because he hasn't played enough of the signature events.
In this announcement does not say. I don't know if there's going to be any requirement. Again, obviously you want to make sure you earn enough points to do whatever and to obviously keep your car, but also however they do the postseason with the match play and all that type of stuff.
Is FedEx still a sponsor?
I assume.
Robert Miller, by the way, the FedEx St. Jude Championship Tournament Director, he will be on the show on Friday at 9:30, our last half hour of the week. And this is all news. Until Eli just read it, I knew it was coming, but I didn't know all these particulars, although we've read about it before. He'll be here to talk about this. But I'm thinking about our event. Does it come to any kind of conclusion? It doesn't name all the events, right? Because the talk had been for the last, year and a half, we've talked about Memphis pulling out of being a playoff event in August and becoming a signature event in May. And that would not be by something that FedEx did wrong. It would be by design. It would be something they wanted. But it doesn't say anything about the FedEx Cup, and I'm just wondering.
This is debuting in 2028, by the way. It's not for next year. This is all 2028.
Right. And that's what Steve Sands told us. He said none of the changes would take place before 2028. So the FedEx St. Jude Championship, which is a playoff event this year, will be a playoff event next year. But what will happen to it in 2028? We don't get clarification right there.
I'm sure. My guess is it's one of the events or one of the current events that would be under consideration for the 5 regular season events,
but not one of the postseason events.
Or it could be one of the postseason events too. But I don't think. I think the postseason events, as they say, are going to go to very prestigious courses.
Right, that's what they said. Plus, like I said, we've heard that by design they would like to move the event, even though it was a playoff event, to move it because of the weather, but also because of their company and having the ability to have all their employees or most of their employees from around the world be able to be at that event, where in August it's very tough as people around the world are getting their kids ready for the start of a new school year. It's a lot tougher. They want this to be a get-together for FedEx, a big event for them. But again, I can't imagine that FedEx is pulling out of the PGA Tour world, although it doesn't say anything about that. Even without a FedEx Cup, they could still be the primary sponsor of the tour, but we just don't have that information in what you just read. But that's more information that I'm sure will be coming out shortly. And again, if not, I'll certainly get that from Robert on Friday when he joins us here on the program.
And I don't know what time. I know Brian Rolap is doing a press conference at some point today. I don't know exactly what time that press conference is that he is doing. So some of these questions will be asked and maybe answered. Not necessarily. Obviously, they don't know exactly which tournaments. As they said, they've got 10 of them figured out, but that's your majors and all of those huge events that we know are going to be a part of it. And then there's 5 events, basically, I guess, that are up for grabs at this point that they have to figure out.
Yeah, Mickey's going to join us next to talk local golf. We talk about the tour as well, but I'm sure this is all new information to him as well, but we'll ask him about that. One other quick story. Sam Hardiman's written about the Redbirds and AutoZone Park in the Daily Memphian today. I haven't had a chance to read the story, but I'm looking at the tidbits here where they're talking about the council once again discussing AutoZone Park tomorrow. So a return to that discussion
today.
Is it today? Oh, yeah. You're right. I'm reading something from yesterday. So today, another important thing that's happening today, to look back at the situation with AutoZone Park as they ponder a $55 million renovation of AutoZone Park, which, of course, is a taxpayer-owned stadium. If you recall, several weeks ago, they basically tabled any decision or even vote on giving them the money for this because they didn't think it was thorough enough, the proposal. They didn't have all the answers to the questions that they wanted. So things have been tweaked and then it was represented to them. But they did end a consulting contract with a firm tasked with reimagining the ballpark and surrounding area, according to Sam. So they have been on retainer. They have had a consulting contract with this firm, I assume. Now, whether or not they gave them the ideas of what they would like to see at the stadium, or they just didn't do their job and they decided, why are we wasting our money? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I got to read Sam's story if it's even in there. But they have definitely severed ties with this consulting firm that they had. But the vote maybe comes today. The discussion at least will come today as they re-examine the future of AutoZone Park. And I, for one, hope that they are granted this money to be able to do the things they need to do for AutoZone Park. I still think it's a great piece of our downtown, and the history that they have been providing for now well over 25 years, I think is absolutely fabulous. And, of course, this year's team is really good, winning the first half of the International League. All right, we'll talk with Mickey Barker when we return. We'll talk some golf. We'll talk about the future of the PGA Tour, and then we'll dive back into the NBA in our final half hour. look back at the trades that happened yesterday, some blockbusters, and what we can expect from the NBA draft over the next 2 days. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Available locally on your radio dial as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, it's easy to stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's time to get your backyard ready for the ultimate pool party with a little help from Family Leisure. If you've been sitting on the fence about taking the plunge with a pool, now's the time to take the dive. You want an above-ground pool? Done. Starting at $39.99, and that's with installation. You want an in-ground pool? Take your pick. They start at under $50,000. Accessorize that pool with a patio furniture set starting at just $9.99. Outdoor sectionals, they start at $12.99. In fact, all in-stock patio furniture sets are priced to move. And with select patio furniture sets, you'll get a free umbrella and base. Okay, you aren't looking to get into a pool just yet? Family Leisure has hot tubs that start at just $34.99. Get in shape or stay in shape with a swim spa starting at $16,999. Get your backyard, front yard, side yard, whatever, ready for fun. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar base. It's now available in a 32-ounce jar. It's so good to base or marinate all meats. I even put a little bit on turnip greens. Something we've been using at the restaurant or at our house has been the Greek seasoning. My father was a cook, but my mother was a chef, and she was the one that put Greek seasoning on everything from a Mediterranean diet or a steak. My mom used it on soup, salad, veggies, fish, any meats. It's a great seasoning and a flavor enhancer. My brother Nick figured out salt and pepper was more than just McCormick's and Morton's. He's come up with a perfect blend we use to coat our shoulders and our brisket, and he used to make it for his friends as Christmas gifts, and they loved it. All these products are available at the Rendezvous or online for shipping as gifts and in many grocery stores. And if they're not in your favorite grocery store, ask your grocer to stock it.
A beloved family affair and still going strong since 1948, the Rendezvous.
It's time for fun, family, and fabulous prizes at the 68th Annual St. Louis Hole-in-One Charity Festival. Sunday through Saturday, June 21st through June 27th. For almost 7 decades, the Hole-in-One has raised thousands of dollars for St. Louis School and other Memphis children's charities, and your help is needed more than ever. On select nights, golfers will have a chance to win $25,000 toward a city auto vehicle purchase, then a chance to win $1 million the final night. Plus, there are cornhole tournaments nightly, kids carnival rides Friday and Saturday nights, children's golf Saturday from 2 to 4, and new this year, wiffle ball at 6 p.m. nightly. There's something for everyone at the biggest party of the year at St. Louis Church, 203 South White Station Road. The 68th Annual St. Louis Hole-in-One Charity Festival, Sunday through Saturday, June 21st through the 27th. Fun, family, and fabulous prizes all week as you help raise funds supporting youth programs at St. Louis Church. This traffic brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Learn more at olddominick.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Well, good morning. Still a little bit slow down through here, but it's trying to move a little bit better. That's 40 westbound at Sycamore View Road where we had an earlier crash. Again, it just timed out where all that rush hour traffic was just trying to get down through that area. 40 westbound. Again, hopefully it'll start to move better here at Sycamore View Road. Still a bit busy up through Midtown on 240 north at Lamar. Hey, don't let a slipping transmission make things worse on your car or truck. Having transmission problems? It's okay. Let them check it out today at Amco Transmission. 2 locations right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis with Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus. Weekday afternoons from 3 to 6.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Good morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back back, everyone. 9:04 the time, hour 3 here on Sports 56 Mornings, the Tuesday, June 23rd, 2026 edition. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Jay Ham with you, broadcasting live and local from the Family Leisure Studios. Right now, feels great. 69 degrees. The high today only hitting 83. Intervals of clouds, but more sunshine than clouds than tonight, a low of 68 before. The rain chances come back tomorrow and on Thursday with a chance of some thunderstorms. Temperatures rising as the week progresses. We'll get to 90 by Friday and the weekend. We got a lot more to talk about as far as the NBA is concerned, the Grizzlies, the draft, which will take place tonight and tomorrow. But it's Tuesday, and every Tuesday during the golf season, we talk about that little white ball with Mickey Barker.
It's time to hit the links and talk some golf. It's Mickey and Friends. Mickey Barker, administrator of golf for the Bluff City, joins Greg and Eli each week. Now, here's Mickey Barker with Greg and Eli.
He's Mickey Barker. You can follow him on Twitter at Mickey Barker1, not only the administrator of golf for the city of Memphis, PGA professional, and a Hall of Fame golfer from Lipscomb University. Good to see you, Mickey.
Good morning, guys.
Maybe I shouldn't say the little white ball, because in my bag I have a little yellow ball, a little red ball, a little green ball, a little blue ball. My gosh, there's even a black ball I think I have.
Yeah, I've seen quite colors.
Why would you make a black ball? Do you see that?
Maybe in the wintertime when the ground.
Yes.
You're the one that has it.
Exactly.
I don't use them. I just find them and I put them in the bag. The rainbow of colors.
Yeah, you never know where you go and find your golf balls. I'm not sure. So
yeah, that's true. So what's going on? What's happening locally?
It's we're in the heart of the season. Pine Hill Championship coming up this weekend on Saturday. All of our July tournaments are filling up. Look this morning, the Overton Park Junior Open has 170 players already. Man. So only 30 spots remaining. So if you're going to sign your kids up for that, need to get in right away. That's memphispubliclinks.com and can sign up for the Overton Park Junior, the Pine Hill Open, or our Memphis Amateur Championship coming up later in July.
The 170, and you got to do 200. You could do 200.
We're going to not limit it, but we'll have a field of 200. They'll have qualifying all day on Monday to get into their flights, and it'll be quite a spectacle over there at Overton.
The new irrigation system at Galloway that we've talked about got a test, I'm sure, yesterday, and rained cats and dogs, and sunshine today, so people back out on the course. I don't know how wet it is, but my gosh, we had a lot of rain.
Yeah, we put a new irrigation system in and haven't really had to have it since we got it finished. So Mother Nature's rain is better, but when the water shuts off here in a few weeks, we'll have it ready to go.
What about the drainage? In a normal, when you have a rain day like yesterday, and it was a lot of rain, and then the sun's shining, we know how hot it is, the summer's here in Memphis. How long does it take with the drainage system and, of course, Mother Nature to dry out a course?
Well, to dry out where, what everybody's asking about are the carts on the path.
Yeah.
That'll take 2 or 3 days to get dried out where we can get the carts off the path and be back to normal conditions. It will be playable today. It'll be soft and wet, and there'll be some water standing, and all of our maintenance crews are working on the bunkers today, trying to get the water pumped out of those and get them back into playable shape. But it'll take 2 or 3 days to really get back to where the ball's bouncing a little bit.
Where do all the courses stay as far as from recovering from aerification?
Really good. We finished Pine Hill a week ago yesterday, and so with the weather that we've had, really humid, wet conditions, those greens are growing in very quickly. So a couple more days, you won't even be able to notice any of the aerification holes. Galloway, Audubon, Fox Meadows, you really can't even see any of the holes anymore.
I was looking at this site. I thought it was Nuclear Golf. It's NUCLR Golf. And it said, walking the golf course beats riding in a cart any day. Do you agree? And I just, capital letters, N-O. Is that just because as you get older, you don't want to walk the course? I mean, to me, walking the course in, let's say, Canada in the fall when it's nice and crisp, that's one thing. Walking in Memphis, the song, with a bag on your back I think that's death.
I think that's the difference is when you're carrying your own bag.
Yeah.
One of the hottest 2 days I've ever played golf was in Chattanooga one year. We played the honors for 2 days, and we all walked. We did have caddies. It was 98 degrees and just terribly hot, and it was some of the most enjoyable golf I've ever played. So, I agree. I think walking, especially if you have a caddy, is the best way to play.
Oh, yeah. If you have
Do you have, at your courses, can people rent a push cart?
We don't have... Overton, we do have push cart rentals. That's the only location that we have those.
I didn't know.
But they can bring their own.
You can bring your own.
Bring your own push cart. There's no trail fee for a push cart or whatever. And we have a lot of folks that do that. The new push carts that are not the old pull cart that we all grew up with, but the push carts that have 3 or 4 wheels, they roll so easily. So that's the way to go.
What's the other thing? I saw the dude the other day. It was like from the Jetsons, from the cartoon The Jetsons. He's like zooming around
we
the
had a
course.
couple of golf boards. They look like massive skateboards. They have 4 wheels. Few people have bought those themselves, and they have a push cart that goes with it, or they attach their clubs to it. That's really, when we had those, they really great way to play. Well, Ocean and I played one round 1 year out at Galloway with them, and a lot of fun. Just not really conducive to having a whole fleet of those.
Well, it's something now you got these. I use air quotes, I guess. I don't know what you call them, push carts or whatever, but the ones that just follow you around the golf course. Like you just put the thing on your belt and it follows you everywhere you go. You never have to touch it.
Yeah, Club Car makes one of those. They're a little expensive, but yeah, you have a sensor on your belt, and wherever you go, it goes. Wherever you stop, it stops.
The only
like
thing,
a dog.
The only thing scared because I was playing at a place. I think it was at Spring Creek where they said you could rent one if you wanted, but they said make sure when you cross a bridge, you take very wide turns because it doesn't know. It'll try and cut that corner and end up in the ditch. I'm like,
oh my gosh.
I'll take a regular cart. I don't want to be paying for this because I will forget about that 100%.
Right. Yeah. You could see it flipping over upside down into the creek.
Now, granted, I love walking, not with my bag. I like the cart, but I like to go out there and walk, and I have to because my ball can be anywhere on the course. So I get a lot of exercise walking. I like to walk to the ball. Today it'll probably be cart path only. I don't mind. I like walking to the ball. That's where I get my exercise. But I got one of those Rodney Dangerfield bags. It's got a tap in it and everything. It's so heavy. I can't handle it, Mickey.
Yeah, you definitely need the electric push cart would be perfect for you.
The Publinks Championships.
Memphis Amateur Championship.
That's got to be coming up, right?
3rd week of July. It's starting to fill up, so we need to get your entries in now. We'll be playing Galloway, Audubon, and Pine Hill over the 3 days. The final day will be at Audubon, first 2 days at Pine Hill and Galloway.
What's the max players you can have?
144 is our goal. That's our limit, full field.
And right now you have how many?
We have getting close to 100 right now with a month to go.
Okay, so still plenty of time to sign up. All right, so you're walking in, you're listening to us, you got your phone out, want to come out and grab you to bring you in here to the studio, and you're reading this news from the tour. What's your initial thoughts?
It's not as much different from this year's as I thought it might be. You've got your elevated events. You're going to have 24 around 24 events, including the majors. I don't think the average fan won't see that big a difference. I don't think you'll see all of your higher end players playing those signature events or championship.
PGA Tour Championship Series.
Right, series. So I don't think as just the guy that watches golf on Sunday afternoon, I don't think they'll see that much difference. Most of the higher level players don't play the weeks where it's not an elevated event anyway. Scheffler plays a couple of his, like the Houston and then also the Dallas events. So that I think I read that they're not eligible.
Yeah, they're not eligible for the Challenger Series. Yeah, right, so if those places are Challenger Series events, those guys are not eligible to drop down.
Is the big part of this the relegation part?
Yeah, maybe so. But
That's already part of it, though. Like, you lose your card or you keep your card.
Right.
Like,
They were trying to get in the top 100 now. If you don't get in the 100, now you're going to be playing some
Then what are the
Korn
big
Ferry Tour.
difference? What are we talking about then? What are the sweeping changes that have been made?
I think it's going to be more locations, tournaments that are going away.
and it's the postseason.
Right.
The match play they're talking about a match play tour championship that actually rotates, not just at East Lake every year. They're going to go to, as they say, prestigious courses. I know that's one of the big things they've wanted with that tour championship is to take it to some of these big time courses. And now the match play, see how many people are there for that. All that's how they're going to do that. And the rest of the postseason leading up to that. But, yeah, I mean, a lot of it, they've talked about, they wanted to go to bigger cities. That's one of the big things they've wanted is big cities. They wanted to certainly take the tour championship and really all of the playoff events to other places. They don't like just having those set, this is here every single year type thing.
And I guess they have enough sponsorship money. They always went to East Lake in Atlanta because of Coca-Cola and Southern Company. Those companies are based right there, and they wanted that final event there, and that's why they've always stayed in Atlanta over the last few years. So now if they're going to be moving it, are those sponsors going to be okay with it? Obviously they are.
But are we talking about the elimination of some tournaments or the demotion of those tournaments to that second tier? Because how many do we have now?
But that's like, we already have the difference in tournaments. You have elevated events and non-elevated events.
No, I'm saying now, could the Canadian Open drop down? Could, what are they playing this week?
The Travelers.
Could the Travelers drop down?
They could, yeah.
How many events do we have now, and how many events will we have?
Well,
that's what I'm trying to figure out the numbers here in my head.
Yeah, for the championship series, having 24 events and then having up to 26 events for the Challenger series. So now, are some of the Korn Ferry events going to get elevated into those? Are they going to have to create new events? Obviously, it's going to be an elevation for the Korn Ferry Tour players if they're in the Challenger series.
That's the thing. Like, they say that the Korn Ferry Tour is going to stick around too, so they're still going to have that, but that's just, I guess, everybody kind of bumps up a little bit, I guess.
So it looks like to me, you're going to have, the tour players are going to have more opportunities, to be honest. I mean, you've got...
Yeah, because you're going to have 2 tournaments on most weeks.
Yeah, you've added a level as opposed to taking anything away.
Yeah, but to me, it looks like, and I don't know, I'm sure the pool money's more. The elevated pool money for each one of these events is more money to win, right?
Right. Well,
the championship series events are $20 million,
what are they,
and the others are $4 million.
What were they normally?
20. Yeah.
So they're the same. Okay. So basically, what you have is like FBS and FCS. Is what you have. So your Rory McIlroys and your Scotty Schefflers are playing there, and how many are 120? You said.
Right.
They're going to be 120.
Yeah.
And then all the rest of those dudes.
But that's an increase from what we are now, because a lot of the fields now are 64 or 70. And
so, the elevated events,
And so now we've increased that drastically. So I think it's really turned out better than I had hoped for. So.
I still think there's something else to this, because it just, like you said, it doesn't seem like it's like that much of a. They're making it like it's like just sweeping changes. Golf will never be the same. To me, I don't know. Again, we will not have a FedEx Cup. There won't be 3 events.
Well, we don't know. We don't
know yet.
They're changing. They're going to match play in some way for the tour. It looks like for the tour championship, but they still have to set the field for the tour championship.
Yeah. Again, for your average fan, I don't think you'll see that big. They won't notice that big a difference. They're going to be big events on television. They're going to watch it on Saturday and Sunday, and it won't be that much difference.
And that's the thing. And as they said, there's, whatever, 7 or 8 weeks where the Challenger Series will be playing that the Championship Series is not. So those will be on TV, and you'll watch those and go, yeah, that's kind of like the John Deere Classic that I remember in the past. I watch it, and none of the guys are playing.
Yeah, I know none of these guys, but I still watch it.
It's funny, too, because you think like that Challenger Series, the purse is $4 million. It wasn't that long ago. That was your events. Like, that was the big events. That was $4 million was your purse. And then then it started going up to 5, 6, 7. And now, like, that's your after 120 top players removed. That's what those guys are competing for. And so for those guys, yeah, that's great.
They're going to be tickled to death. That's going to be an increase in purse for them.
Well, I texted Steve Sands. We'll see if he answers me before we go off the air. Couple of details I'd like to know. All right. In the meantime, last weekend, U.S. Open, Shinnecock Hills. Lots of things. to talk about. Number one, you have one of the broadcasters coming out and saying that Shinnecock Hills, maybe Long Island in general, should not be able to host a major again because of the unruly behavior of the fans and the way they treated Wyndham Clark. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it was bad. I thought it was poor taste by the fans there, and I guess, you know, I can understand them saying, hey, we've had bad behavior at Bethpage. We've had bad behavior now at Shinnecock Hills. Obviously, those are two different places. You got a very public, easy place for the general public to get to. Shinnecock's not easy even for the fans to get there. They had a limited amount of spectators. It wasn't a massive crowds, but they still were not very good. I don't know what the answer there is. I did hear this morning they took at least 7 fans out for
unruly behavior.
Yeah. Did what they could. Someone mentioned this morning, is it all about the gambling? You know, are these guys that are out there that they've got money on Scheffler and they're trying to, I don't know that
some of it is.
It could be. I don't know that that's the case. But I do know it was poor behavior. Now, is the USGA and the PGA of America going to start looking to Augusta National? I mean, it doesn't happen there. They don't ever have any problems with it. Take the phones away, going into these events. That will help.
Is there a time that beer sales are cut off? Can you buy beer all the way up until the last putt is dropped?
I'm not sure about that.
Do you know Eli? If anybody knows beer at the golf, it would be Eli.
I know out at the tournament here, generally you can get beer up until the final, until play. As long as those places are open, they're selling whatever. There's not a cutoff.
But here in Memphis, we had huge crowds last year. You had Justin Rose, who is the enemy, on the Ryder Cup teams, and he was getting just as much applause as JJ Spawn was. And so the behavior here at Memphis with big crowds was not bad. I don't know.
There was one, I can't remember who it was. One of the guys who covers the tour. I wish I remember who it was. He posted yesterday and talked about what happened there for the U.S. Open was not. He said it's not as bad as people are making out. For one, there wasn't like people were yelling in backswings. They weren't affecting the play. Like, yes, they were cheering for his bad shots and like they clearly didn't want him to win. But, they're like, they weren't throwing things at him. They weren't yelling in his backswing. He was able to play his round of golf without any issues other than they cheered his bad shots. And I wish I could remember who it was, because he brought up Memphis. He went back, he said when it is not nearly as bad as what Bryson DeChambeau went through when he and Koepka had their feud. And he mentioned Memphis and one other tournament. He said were way worse to DeChambeau.
Why are we always
than what those fans were to, it was Memphis and
Chandler Parsons.
I don't know.
That up?
It's probably, I guess, whatever the other playoff event would have been that year. But it was, he said what DeChambeau went through was way worse than what Wyndham Clark had to put up with 30
Really?
years.
Wow.
I don't remember that.
I had not heard that. I give credit to Wyndham. My goodness. He never reacted to it. In the press conferences that I saw, he was like, I get it. Scotty's the number one player in the world. He's going for the Grand Slam. I would be, he didn't say it. He said, I would almost be rooting for him as well. But he had no issue with it. Scheffler gave him credit. He said some people are not meant to be in the arena. They can't handle being in the arena. He said obviously Wyndham could. He said all credit to him for handling it very well.
All those things that they said were the right things to say. Wyndham Clark took the high road. I congratulate him. He's not one of my favorites, but he won fair and square, and he did so because he was mentally tough, and he's working with the sports psychologist. So there's a lot of work that he has put into it. Going back to what you said about the gambling is a part of it. There's no question about it because of the gambling that they're rooting for certain players. But I think it goes beyond that with Wyndham Clark. With Wyndham Clark, for whatever, well, I know the reasons. The whole thing last year at Latrobe, that he caused these fans to hate him. And he's trying to win him over. You heard him at the end after he won. I hope to win you over one day. And it's interesting because people bring up, but Tiger Woods almost killed people in his car, driving around out of his mind, impaired. But It's different. For whatever reason, they look at Wyndham Clark, even though he's an American, and they have just decided that that's the guy that's going to be their whipping boy. He's going to be the guy that we're going to destroy, and I don't know if it'll ever change. Like, I guarantee you, if it was even an international player, if it was Tommy Fleetwood and Scheffler going down the stretch, Tommy puts one in the bunker, I bet you they wouldn't be applauding and everything like that. I just think it's different. It was different with Wyndham Clark because of everything that happened in the past with him and his explosions.
The problem that he had. But
temper.
To be honest, I in my opinion, I think it was more about Scheffler. They were wanting him to win the Grand Slam, and I don't think it had as much to do with Wyndham. It did some because he'd kind of been gotten himself. But I think he will have a lot of fans going forward. The way he handled it, the way he took the high road, he never said any. You never saw him turn around.
Yeah,
at least on camera, never saw him turn around and talk to anybody out in the crowd. And he had very good opportunity to do that, and he didn't.
Well said. He deserves. So here, Steve answered me. I said, Steve, what does this mean for Memphis? Is FedEx still a sponsor? He said, doesn't sound like FedEx will remain the season-long sponsor. Not sure if it's staying on as a tournament sponsor. We shall see. I said, confused. And he said, a lot yet to be determined. So this is just the first steps of this news. More news will come today with a presser. Like I said,
presser's going on right now.
So it's going on right now. As I mentioned earlier, Robert Miller, who's now the new tournament director of the FedEx St. Jude Championship, he's scheduled to be on with us on Friday at 9:30. All right. Fun stuff, Mickey, as always.
Really good stuff. It's interesting.
And again, for folks to get their tee times, they need to go to
MemphisPublicLinks.com. All of our courses are right there. All of our events, you can register. Love to see you out at the courses.
He is a great American. He is Mickey Barker. Follow him on Twitter at MickeyBarker1, the administrator of golf for the city of Memphis, the Hall of Fame golfer from Lipscomb University, PGA professional, our professional. That is the Mick. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Folks, June is all about baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and a new All-Star Chevrolet, and golf, of course. Staycation or vacation begins in Olive Branch. How low can your payment go? Come to All-Star and see what 0% financing for 5 years on all these new Silverados will do. Your good credit deserves it. Military, first responders, you get an extra $500 bonus. All-Star Chevy is pre-owned makes and models for any budget, priced in the 10s, 15s, or 20s. Or go big with the Tahoe, Traverse with a third-row seat, Corvette Stingray, pre-owned Silverados. For all your commercial and fleet needs, All-Star Chevrolet is the top-rated business elite dealer. Express Cargo and Express Passenger Vans are also there. If you have any vehicle you want to sell, bring it to All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch and get the most money for it today. So together, let's drive. Don't miss the best sale of summer event. It's going on now in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet and online at allstarautogroup.com. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Let Bryant Dacus and Brett Norsworthy take you home every afternoon. Sports Time on Sports 56. Weekdays from 3 to 6 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Whether you're buying, selling, or just want a fast cash offer, call Bubba Sandifer at Emmett Baird Realty at 901-257-9420 or direct at 901-319-0747. Looking to buy? Bubba will help you find that perfect home. Thinking about selling? Don't just stick a sign in your yard and hope for the best. With Bubba Sandifer at Emmett Baird Realty, you get maximum exposure, serious buyers, and real results. Want speed? He'll buy it as is for cash. Want top dollar? He'll list it. Either way, you win. Call Bubba Sandifer at 901-319-0747.
Chris Price here with Metro Builders. If you were anywhere in the Mid-South lately, you felt it. High winds, hail, and storms rolling through hard. And here's the truth. If your roof took a hit, you may not see it yet. Hail and wind damage shingles can compromise your roof, opening the door for water intrusion. And once it gets in, the damage spreads fast. Ceilings, walls, insulation, even mold. That's why the sooner we inspect, the less damage you risk. Right now, Metro Builders has teams all over Memphis performing free inspections, handling same-day repairs, and providing emergency water mitigation services if needed. We'll show you exactly what we see, document everything, and help you take action before a small problem becomes a big one. Don't wait until you see water inside. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717 or book your inspection online at MetroBuildersMemphis.com. That's Metro Builders Memphis. We don't just build, we build world class.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
You know that feeling when something is supposed to be complicated and then it's not? That's the Dobbs Brothers way. For your new Chevrolet, there's no games, no runaround, no surprises. Just straight answers from people who actually mean them. Buying a car shouldn't feel like a battle. And at Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet, it doesn't. Trust, transparency, and driving our community forward. That's the Dobbs Brothers way. Shop Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet of Bartlett today.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings. Good morning. On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Well, with the news in golf and talking some golf with Mickey Barker, of course, this week going on is the St. Louis Church Hole-in-One Festival, where folks go out there and, hey, maybe you win a car, maybe you win $1 million. Who knows? I've got some free buckets of balls that I'll give away. We'll go with the first 2 callers. First 2 callers each get 2 large buckets of balls for the St. Louis Church Hole-in-One Festival. Again, going on all week through Saturday out at St. Louis Church. 2 large buckets of balls, each of the first 2 callers on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line at 360-8255, 360-8255. First 2 callers, 2 buckets each to go on out there and try your luck and see if you can win some great prizes. And if you win the $1 million, you only owe me half of it.
Chandler Parsons has been a big pain in the butt. I don't know what it is. Every time Memphis is brought up on that podcast, he's got this little smile you want to slap off his face. If you put together a Mount Rushmore of athletes who talk poorly of Memphis, he's on there, right? Draymond Green.
I'll be honest, I don't really know. I pay no attention to what Chandler Parsons says, so I don't know the things he says about Memphis.
It always pops up on my timeline. That's why.
Care less what Chandler Parsons ever says after he stole the amount of money he did from the Grizzlies. So I don't know.
Well, you would have stole that money too, as would I. Big mistake. But he doesn't have to lambaste Memphis every single time, it seems like. But I know J-Ham's taking calls right now. I think we have both our winners. But I'd like to ask him about who would be on that Mount Rushmore. Maybe our listeners would want to contribute at 901-360-8255 and just text in. But Draymond Green, Chandler Parsons, and then we can get 2 more. You know, Lou Williams, I think he's born in Memphis, raised in Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken. He talks poorly of Memphis, too, it seems like.
What did Chandler say poorly about Memphis?
Yesterday, I forget what it was yesterday. He does it all the time. I'm trying to remember what he said yesterday. I'd have to go back and listen. I can't remember it. Yesterday, Amon Shumpert on ESPN was talking about the Grizzlies, but he was talking about the Grizzlies and the draft. And he said that the Grizzlies should select Caleb Wilson to play alongside Ja Morant.
Well, he's going to be greatly disappointed.
Is he going to be wrong and wrong?
On a couple of fronts.
Yeah, it's...
I could see where Caleb Wilson alongside Ja Morant would be could be a lot of fun.
So, bigger shock. The Grizzlies passing on Boozer and taking Wilson, or the Jazz passing on DeBonsa. Well, it's never going to come to this. But if it were to, passing on DeBonsa and taking Boozer. It could come to it. I mean, Washington could still take Peterson.
I would be beyond shocked if Utah didn't take Devonta if he was there.
I think that's signed, sealed, and delivered. But I also think that Cam Boozer's signed, sealed, and delivered. As long as he's there, that's who the Grizzlies take. So, your final answer, it's like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Final answer. Devonta or Peterson goes 1?
Devonta.
Okay. Peterson 2, Boozer 3, Wilson 4. Okay?
Just like we thought from the very get-go.
Okay, I agree. Clippers at number 5. This is barring any trades that could happen. Who are the Clippers taking at 5?
I think it's either going to be Brown or Wagler.
Which one you going?
I think they're going to still end up taking Wagler.
Okay. And then Brooklyn?
Then they take Brown.
They take Brown. So you think those are the 2 guards going, other than Peterson, going first and second. Sacramento, this one's gift wrapped, right? If that's the case, it's got to be Acuff, correct?
I would think he's probably next of that, but I'm not sure. I haven't really seen much on what Sacramento, who they like and don't like amongst that group.
Atlanta could be interesting with what they want to do, but the mock I'm looking at has Flemings, and then they have Dallas taking Burries. I'm not so sure. I'm not 100% like feeling it, because Dallas now, with the whole Dusty May deal, I wonder how quickly. I mean, he hasn't even signed the paperwork, so I don't know how much he's involved, but I'm sure he's on the phone, if not in person now, with their wheelers and dealers, making their decision makers. I don't see Burries going 9 to Dallas, but Atlanta will be interesting at 8. And then you get to Milwaukee now. They make the big trade. They bring in assets. They bring in some young players. We'll see if they all stick in Milwaukee. I mean, Hero could be moved. Khalil Ware could be moved. But they got him with NBADraft.net, which I'm looking at right now, Nate Ament. And that's the guy who, it seems like every guest we've had on who covers the NBA draft, that's the one guy they think's maybe a little bit overrated, overvalued. And then this one has, again, the Grizzlies at 16 taking Christian Anderson.
The Milwaukee getting the second pick there in the lottery. There's a lot of belief that because of Jimmy Haslam, and I don't know how much say he has, but his Tennessee ties, that Nate Ament could be a pick of theirs, and now having the second lottery pick certainly would not be surprising to see them use one of those on Ament.
Somebody tweeted out about Haslam. So now in the last, several months, traded away Giannis, traded away
Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett, thank you. Some big names right there to trade. Franchise players on their respective teams in their respective sports.
Randy says the Mount Rushmore would be at LeBron, Draymond, Ant-Man, and Marcus Smart. He says, go ahead and build it, then blow it up.
J-Ham. Okay, so the 4 he had was, again, LeBron, Draymond,
Ant-Man, and Marcus Smart.
Ant-Man and Marcus Smart. Chandler Parsons is on that Mount Rushmore. I'm trying to come up with the Mount Rushmore of guys, NBA players, that when they get an opportunity, they say something derogatory about Memphis.
You got your 5.
We can only go 4. It's Mount Rushmore.
No, we'll break the rules on that one and make 5.
So you'd go 4 and then you'd add Parsons?
Yeah.
You'd go those 4?
I don't think we can make that one without Parsons. Because
right.
We can honestly add Lou Will, and the part about Lou Will is that he's born in Memphis.
I know. I'm telling you, Lou Will. So is there anybody we're missing? Is there somebody just out there over the years
Do you know what
we've missed?
What did Chandler Parsons say about Memphis yesterday or whatever? That I don't pay attention to Chandler Parsons, but
I didn't see what he said as a recent. Last thing I think I saw him on was when he was on Out the Mud with Zach and Tony. He was temper there. He wasn't outlandish, but he took a couple of shots. But it's like you're sitting across from Zach and Tony. You know?
This one, I can't pull it up and play it because I think they drop a couple of expletives. They were letting the expletives fly.
He did talk about just basically how they offered him what they offered him, knowing he was still injured.
Oh, that's not saying anything bad about Memphis. That's just stating a fact.
Yeah, that's what he did. That's what he did when those guys were on. But I'm talking about what he said. I mean, it's just they bring up Memphis and they're like, don't bring up me. You know, he's got that little smile on his face. You just want to slap that smile off his face. I don't even know where I know I retweeted something. I'm trying to figure this thing out. I don't see it. I don't see where I did it. Oh, here it is. I love the response, though, from somebody. And Lou Williams is talking, so he does it with Lou? Is Lou always on there?
It's Lou Williams, Chandler Parsons, Michelle Beadle, and sometimes DeMarcus Cousins is with them.
Okay, it's giving me, okay. But anyway, somebody retweeted and said, 3 seasons, 95 games, didn't average over 10 points in the season in Memphis. Dude is a straight bum. It's putting I don't want to pop it on because, again, I think they try. Listen, I wouldn't be surprised if they take Boozer to, let me see. They're talking about thugs. Peterson's star potential. Got the start of just piece. I'm trying to just fundamental stuff. I forget exactly what he says. Let's see, we got a break, right? I'm going to listen to it during the break, and I'll tell you when we come back on that. Final thoughts on what to expect tonight. If you want to give us yours, Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines. We'll get to that in our final segment at 901-360-8255. You can call in or you can text in. Again, if you went to sleep last night early and you missed it, you're just getting up. Giannis traded, along with Bobby Portis, to the Miami Heat in a blockbuster trade that will bring Tyler Hero, Kel'el Ware, Jaime Jaquez, Yakashonis, 3 first-round picks, a first-round pick swap, a second-rounder, all for Giannis and Bobby Portis. They go to Milwaukee. They go to Miami, and Milwaukee brings in a lot of assets and players as well. And earlier yesterday was the Julius Randle trade, where he goes from Minnesota with the 28th pick to the Nets. In turn, Nick Claxton goes from the Nets to the Bulls, and the Timberwolves end up with the 33rd pick in the draft, which will be tomorrow night when they pick the 33rd. Of course, tonight will just be round number 1 and then round number 2 tomorrow. Speaking of basketball, take your basketball skills to the next level at Shoot 360 Memphis. Shoot 360 Memphis is a revolutionary basketball training facility. Nothing like it. There are other facilities in the country, Shoot 360 facilities. There's 2 here in Memphis, in Collierville and in Cordova. When you get into or inside one of those shooting bays with the Shoot 360 technology, you're getting instant feedback. The analytical information is being given to you each and every time you put up that shot. Plus, you get the one-on-one expert coaching from coaches at every single level. They've even coached in the NBA. They're there to help you. So it's kind of a two-prong attack. It's the coaching, the analytical information, and the repetition. When you get up these shots, you're going to become a better shooter, and then really a better all-around player. You can work on your basketball skills at the Cordova location. They have every single thing, your passing skills as well. It's a 50,000 square foot facility. And then in Collierville, that's the original. They have the shooting bays there. You just want to go over there, not bother with anybody, get your shots up. That's perfect for you. You can join on a monthly basis, so you can't beat that. You join them for a month, you try it out. I think you're going to fall in love with it, and you're going to join for more months to come. You can do so in a longer range or a longer term if you like. But again, all you're required if you're going to join is to join for just 1 simple month. Give them a call in Cordova. Set up a tour. Any questions you have, they'll answer them. 901-779-3176. They're located on Big Orange Road. You can't miss it. 50,000 square foot facility. In Collierville, they're on 85 Market Street. That number is 901-316-5500. The future of basketball training is here at Shoot 360 Memphis. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Let Bryant Dacus and Brett Norsworthy take you home every afternoon. Sports Time on Sports 56. Weekdays from 3 to 6 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys, Tito's is known for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Incorporated, Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly. Unlock your new go-to spot, Codes Dispensary in Steele, Missouri, just over an hour from Memphis. When you're ready for a legal, reliable option, they're right up the road. Explore the full menu of top-shelf products in-store and online. Short on time? Order ahead and cruise through the drive-thru for a quick pickup. Stack rewards while you stock up with Club Codes. Earn points for every dollar spent. Codes Dispensary, now open in Steele, Missouri. Supreme cannabis that's worth the drive. Learn more at CodesDispensary.com. That's CodesDispensary.com.
Hey, you ready to bang? Bangers Pickleball in South Haven is now open with 10 courts, a restaurant, and 3 bars. New to pickleball? No problem. Take a free Bangers 101 class to learn. Bangers offers a great time for everyone, and there's no membership required. Bangers even has events for you non-pickleballers like mahjong, trivia, whiskey, and wine tasting. Bangers Pickleball has it all. All the rage, all the fun, all for you. Please dink responsibly at Bangers Pickleball, 6787 Snowden Lane, South Haven, Mississippi. Let's bang.
Marty McNate's on vacation, but passed along some exciting deals at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown's Volkswagen Driver Days event. If you're looking for sporty, we Gossett 2026 Jetta S. Just $249 a month. $249 a month for Jetta S. Luxury just got a new definition in 2026 Tiguan 2.0 TS. Now $269 a month. Brand new Tiguan S $269 a month. Plus 2026 Atlas SE. Only $329 a month. That's only $329 a month for a brand new Atlas SE. Marty McNate will be waiting for you at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown, 7420 Winchester Road. Online, GossettVWG.com, and remember, your future's what you make it. If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Atlas TC 564,681, MSRP 41,911, Jetta TMO 312,217, MSRP 25,791, Tiguan TMO 43,763, MSRP 32,881. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must be financed through Volkswagen Credit PF 895. Excludes tax title license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer in 6/30/26. Dealer stock only.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Starts laughing when he brings up Memphis. He goes, why are we bringing that up? Basically because he never says anything good about Memphis. And so Chandler Parsons is talking about, where would you rather go? And then he goes, no, I'm talking about the organization, because they're in a better position. And he's right about that. Utah's right now is in a better position than Memphis, but they're all laughing at him. And then he said, why did you pick Memphis and all that? And he goes, money, which is the truth too. But what did he say early? The one thing that was discouraging, he said that
the only thing he said bad about Memphis was watch out what you wish for. You may end up in Memphis.
Yeah, he said
talking about Derek Peterson. None of the other stuff had anything bad about Memphis, other than saying that Utah is in a better spot organizationally now.
Well, he said,
which everybody would agree with.
He said Boozer didn't want to go. First of all, he said Boozer didn't want to go to Memphis. We never heard that at all. And then he said, what was that line?
He was talking about Peterson. He said something like, watch out what you wish for, something you might end up in Memphis.
Yeah. Again, it's a slight, it's slight, but it's a negative remark about and the organization and the city. And he does that all the time. So he is on my Mount Rushmore. He's absolutely on my Mount Rushmore.
It's extra personal with Lou Williams for me because he grew up 5 minutes from me. It's like, you're from my neighborhood, dude.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with Lou. I don't know why he's
moved to Atlanta. He became an Atlanta transplant. It's just like he will claim Memphis and the offset, but other than that, he just shoots at us. I don't get it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just I'm tired of this, man. I was watching I was watching this comedian yesterday. I never had heard of him. And he's funny. He does different characters and then does interviews. But I forget his name. Anyway, he was doing an interview and he brought up somebody. Oh, the guy went out into the audience. He said, pick that dude. And it was this huge white guy, this big white guy. And the guy goes, where are you from? He goes, Memphis. And he said, what do you do? And he said, I play football. And so the one guy on the set goes, so he's trying to figure it out in his head. He goes, so University of Tennessee, no, it's not, that's Knoxville. And so he says, who do you play for? The guy, like the guy, like, I don't know if he was trying to play dumb, like wouldn't answer. And then they're just busting his chops. They go, hey, what's 2 + 2? Like the guy sounded like a buffoon, but I'm wondering, and this is recent. So, I mean, he's playing football. He's not at the university. I don't think he wouldn't be there. Like, is he playing for the indoor team? I mean, or was he about to go play for the, I don't know. But this guy was a mountain of a dude. The guy stuck the microphone up. He couldn't even reach his mouth to talk, and he barely spoke. But my gosh, it was.
Was it like Lisa Salters with Wimby?
Yes, yes. He wasn't. This guy wasn't 7'5", but he was a mountain of a man. I'm like, man, I hope he's playing for the Tigers. That guy's big enough. But yeah, he just wouldn't answer him. It was kind of weird, man. But I saw that yesterday.
So Oklahoma wins the College World Series title last night with the win over North Carolina. Some of the amazing stuff. First of all, you had Kyle Branch, who hits the home run in his final at bat, after his brother, who plays for Georgia, hit a home run in his final at bat in Omaha against Oklahoma. And his brother was there last night to watch him hit a home run at his final at bat in Omaha, which is amazing that both in the same year would hit a home final in their final at bats in the College World Series,
Symmetry.
which each hit a home run. Then you've got the two Mercurius brothers, both in their first years at Oklahoma, one a freshman and one as a transfer, who pitched in every game in Omaha.
Isn't that wild?
And their family, I mean, like, that's crazy for their family. And they obviously win the title together. And then the Willits family, what a year. Jackson Willits wins the MVP of the College World Series. His dad is on the staff as a coach. And the younger brother was the number 1 overall pick of the draft last year.
Wow. That is impressive genes.
And then
that family.
And Jackson, the MVP, just had a baby girl in March of this year. So that family in the last year has had the number 1 overall pick of the Major League Baseball draft, another son win the MVP of the College World Series, dad, College World Series champion coach, and a new baby in the family.
Wow. I mean, so many great storylines. And of course, as we talked about earlier, the SEC winning their 7th straight. They had the 1 year they didn't have the World Series because of COVID, but my gosh, 7 straight, 6 different schools during this streak
and
have won titles. LSU twice.
The fact that North Carolina still does not have a baseball title really blows my mind. Like, it's
very
amazing.
consistent over the years.
They just keep getting there, and they can't win the darn thing. 13 trips now to the College World Series without a championship. Only Florida State has more. Like, I always think North Carolina is one of the best baseball programs in the country,
sure,
like, without question. And I'm like, it just amazes me. I'm like, they've never won a championship. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
It's so yesterday was the 22nd of June. The sports calendar, the 25-26 season, finally coming to an end, right? I don't think there's any other things, right? Is that it? The last pitch of that game was the last event in college sports in the 25-26 season, right?
Mm-hmm.
June 22nd. The calendar year for college begins July 1st. It's July 1st to July 1st. Almost all the way up to July 1st. Just seems like it goes longer and longer and longer. And these guys are finishing up their college year on June 22nd. Started baseball way back in February, second week of February. That is a long season.
Don't forget tonight, of course, down at FedEx Forum is the watch party for the draft that the Grizzlies are having. It is absolutely free for you to go on down there, watch the draft with other fans, see who they pick, all of that good stuff. That's doors are opening at 6:00 for that tonight. There is free parking in the garage. If you get there very early, there are a limited number of spots because there's some construction going on in the parking garage, but there are a limited number of spots that are available for free parking as well. But if you want to have some fun, celebrate with some other Grizzlies fans tonight, you can head on down to FedEx Forum for the free draft watch party. They'll have it going the entire first round. So it will go all the way until that 30th pick is made tonight.
So you mentioned earlier that Brian Rolap had his press conferences going on right now. Tiger Woods making his first appearance since his DUI arrest in late March, introducing Brian Rolap, who will officially take over Jay Monahan's position as well. Even though he's the CEO, he's going to be the commissioner of the league as well. So he'll have both those titles. And they're talking about, obviously, the changes that are coming to the PGA Tour starting in 2028. Yeah, he'll take over the role as commissioner in addition to CEO after Monahan officially retires at the end of this year. So that's going on right now in the world of golf. We have the council meeting that are discussing AutoZone Park and the future of the Redbirds. The World Cup today. Portugal, Uzbekistan, England, and Ghana. I'm telling you, go Harry Kane 2 goals. Panama and Croatia, Colombia, and Congo DR, all in action today.
You've got World Cup fever, but do you have gonorrhea?
Pack it up, man. Pack it up.
I'll take that as a yes.
Don't we all? Come on. Oh, my God. Eli from the back row. He's euchred. He's not a front row guy.
That was from the terrace level right there.
That was from the terrace level. Under construction right now. Under renovations right now. Oh, my gosh. Great stuff. Great show. That was fun. A lot of things that are going on, and we'll be back tomorrow to talk about everything. I want to thank James Fletcher, Mickey Barker for joining us on the program today. Tomorrow, round 1 will be in the books. Round 2 will be happening tomorrow night. Perfect time to have DeMichael Cole on the program, as he is each and every week. He'll join us at 8:05 to talk Grizzlies and NBA. Lawrence Dockery at 8:30 on everything that's happening with the World Cup. Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 is coming up next. For Eli Savoy and Jay Ham, I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great Tuesday.